go. Saturday night right here. Giants Sports Talk Live. Got my buddy Glenn, and we got a special guest, the return of Tommy D. We're going to get into some New York talk. Specifically, guys, we'll get into Juan Soto. You know how we love talking Juan Soto on Giant Sports Talk Live. You know, hey, Tommy, I'm doing my part as a San Francisco Giants fan to do whatever I can to try to get that man to sign here in San Francisco. But more importantly, as I stated there for the title, would Juan Soto really leave New York? Because that's all the talk, right? It's going to either be the Mets or the Yankees, and maybe some other team might sneak in. What do you got with us? Or what do you got for us, Tommy?
First of all, guys, thanks for having me back. It's always great speaking to you guys. Okay, first things first. Both Soto and Judge were named first team Major League Baseball, so that's big. With regards to leaving New York, I can't put the odds on it yet. I would say 50-50 that he stays because the Yankees, I would say 35%, maybe the Mets 15%. Now, the other 50% of the equation are going to be these four teams, my four big contenders. Giants, Dodgers, Blue Jays, Red Sox. Now, you might have a seventh team, like let's say the Cubs or Braves, another big market team gets in there. But I think those really top six teams, because Soto had a good meeting with the Red Sox, 3-hour meeting yesterday. Now, the Mets have Carlos Beltran, who's kind of like their special assistant to the president of baseball operations, David Stern, and
trying to schmooze him?
Full blast after him, quote unquote, full blast. So, there's just so many things. And look, the Mets got all these teams have their weaknesses and strengths. Okay, the Yankees, he knows what it is to play in New York. He produced when it mattered in October, so he's got that. He's got a lot of friends on the team. And the Yankees can pay him. Now, the Mets have Mr. Moneybucks, Steve Cohen. However, they got to sign Edgardo Alfonso, and who's not going to be cheap himself. Then you got the Dodgers. Now, what Glenn and I were talking about was the aspect that, Glenn asked me is like, hey, how long do you think other teams are going to let Dodgers get away with what they did with Shohei Ohtani?
That was on our radio show this morning, Eric. We covered that in detail, didn't we?
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think other teams are going to say, hey, you know what? Timeout. There's one thing, to have, for one guy, but, the first time you get away with, but the second time, it's up to the other teams because I don't think Manfred himself is going to do it, who I personally like. He's not far from me. Rome, New York is about 50 miles from Cooperstown. So, and he's a Yankees fan. However, he works for the owner. So it's not like a Buick Kuhn or, when you go way back to the strong commissioners, he's just there. He's kind of the CEO and he'll do what they tell him.
He's just kind of like an appointed. He's appointed by the owners, but he's just more of a, I don't want to say gimmick, but no, I get what you're saying. He's doing the beholding of what the owners want.
Right. Listen,
and Tommy likes to fight the tyranny of the conspiracy, if you will, don't you, Tom?
Listen, he's not a Judge Landis. We won't make that.
Nobody is like a Judge Landis.
P. Rose even made another appearance on the radio show today. Tommy likes to combat the conspiracies.
Well, look, I could.
Rose.
No, I shouldn't. Let's not get sidetracked.
Okay. So we'll get back to Soto. We should maybe have a special Pete Rose, Shohei Ohtani debate and discussion.
That could be. Yeah, we could do that.
That could be a great. All right.
That could be a great topic for another day.
Another day. Okay. So Soto, listen. So the Mets got the deep pockets. Now, here's the biggest issue I think with regards to Soto. It's his Achilles heel. Now, Scott Boras, if I was a burger flipper, making minimum wage, Scott Boras would get me $250,000 a year. I'd go from like maybe
right.
25,000 a year to make it $250,000. I mean,
right, gotcha.
That good. He's that good. So that's what I think. Now, the problem with Boras is he takes too long. He stretched it out with a lot of players over the years, and they're going to want to be, they're going to want to get this done. Really, it's going to be tough to get done by the end of the upcoming meetings. However, I do see getting it done by Christmas or New Year's, because you don't want to really go into like January, February, then your spring training, and so we just got to.
You don't want that,
yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked.
Can I ask you? You threw out the names earlier, including Boston. Now, I did see today, Eric, in a lot of reports that Boston really came on strong with we're going to build a super team around you. We're going to be the Dodgers of the East Coast. And what it included in the what they say, I mean, I wasn't in the boardroom, but what I'm hearing is it included, all right, you sign with us, we're going to go get you Vladdy Guerrero. We're going to get you these Crochet. They say if Soto goes there, we're all in to build a super team. That having been said, Tom, may I ask you? Yes. Because this show is Giant Sports Talk Live. You included the Giants in the list of your 4. Giants don't even have a meeting with the guy. Why is he in on your top 4? Not to throw you under the bus. That was a big sigh.
No, I think the aspect of what the Giants, and Eric really articulated it a few weeks ago, he's able to be the king of Northern California. You could dominate an entire area of the Golden State, and that's big. Look, if he signs in Boston, you got to deal with the Yankees and Orioles and stuff like that. But if you're out there, you got a diehard fan base in the Giants, and then he's the perfect guy to go after the Dodgers. Now, it's going to be hard because the Dodgers are loaded and they got tons of money.
Yeah.
But I think if the Giants make a decision to go all in, they could pull it off. Now, are the odds good? No. But I do think there's a chance, I would, 50-50 earlier. Okay, so let's break it down. We had 50-50 that he stays in New York. All right. Now, then we got the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Giants. Okay. Let's go Dodgers, 20%. Blue Jays, 5%. Red Sox.
5%? Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa. Tommy's not popular in the American League East, especially in Canada. I'll tell you that.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. It's not anything reflective of the Blue Jays organization. The issues, I don't know if he wants to leave the States with regards to sponsorship, and also taxes.
Taxes are a lot more in Toronto.
That's a big issue. That's a big issue. So I got the Red Sox at 10%. Taxes aren't cheap there either. So that leaves the Giants at about 15%. So I got Yankees at about 35, Mets at 15. I got Dodgers at 20, Blue Jays at 5, Red Sox at 10, Giants at 15%.
I think that's more than 4, though, isn't it? I mean, I thought we had
no. Okay. Yankees.
But I was going to say, Tom, you were an absolute genius. You should have left it at 4, because I was going to say, let's do a close-up on that pen. You've got a color for each team on the list.
Absolutely. I found this.
There's a professional, guys, right there. Tommy, a one color per team. I like it.
You know it, guys. You know it. So it's
always fun with Tom.
Yeah.
All right.
So 5% the Jays, man. See, up here in Canada where I am, you know what? I was supposed to be in Canada for a week, remember? Yes. I was here for a week 2 months ago, Eric. So I'm still in
remember.
But in Toronto, man, the hype there among the Rogers group has money. The Rogers group are promoting it across the country on like their 8 or 9 sports channels. They've got sports radio right across the country. The buzz is the Jays are going to, if somebody comes in at 800, we'll beat it. Why 5% for the Jays, Tom?
Look, I think it's just, number one, the tax issue.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, I don't know if it's been a little bit homesick stuff, but listen, Toronto's a world-class city. I almost moved there in the mid-90s. So after I finished college in Buffalo. So, I mean, I love Toronto, Hockey Hall of Fame, so many great things. You got Yonge Street, million great places to hang out. So
was that you on Yonge Street getting in trouble?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, you got, you just got so much to do in Toronto. I think he'd have a blast in Toronto. Maybe too much fun in Toronto, but I mean, listen, there's a lot of great stuff to do in Toronto. So, different athletes have gone up there originally hesitant, but they really fell in love with the city. I mean,
because Eric always talks about, and God, I want to see him in one of these, Tom. I really do.
Yeah,
I really do. But Eric says, he can be the king of the city. He could country if he plays for the Blue Jays.
Northern California.
Yeah, but he can be the king of Canada.
Now, if he signs,
who wants to be the king of Canada? I'm sorry.
I will. The way the Trudeau government, I'll do it.
You left it wide open for me, and you left it wide open.
No, wait a minute. Are you trading Trudeau for Soto? I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. No. That'll be one of those trades Eric and I are talking about where they hang up on you.
Yes.
All right, we've looked at Toronto. More about the Boston deal, Eric. And Tom, the Boston deal looks real.
Hold on, real quick. How does it take 3 hours? Come on. I'm not privy to how they 3 hours to convince Juan Soto should come to Boston. You know how long it would take 3 hours for the San Francisco Giants to walk him out to center field, put him on a helicopter, fly him onto the yacht in the middle of the bay, sail him around the freaking Golden Gate Bridge, come back. Okay, I get that for being 3 hours. Sitting down and talking with him for 3 hours, that seems a little weird, but whatever. Hey, whatever. It is what it is.
Guys, I'm hearing they did the same thing that Eric has been preaching. He had his meeting, albeit over in California, in LA, with the Red Sox. But the Red Sox, they pulled the rug out from underneath the Giants. Apparently, they wined them. They dined them. They brought in past Boston legends. They had the World Series trophy out on display. Eric, it was like they were watching the show. They nailed everything that you said to do, except Tommy D's A-team helicopter flying in, which I thought was appropriate. You were wearing the A-team. I don't know if anybody picked that up on the show. You were wearing the A-team shirt in the Dominican, and I thought of that big black helicopter, like that they used to fly around. And what was that other show? Magnum Guy had the big black helicopter. I would love to see it. I'm getting all excited. I got to calm down.
All right, I tell you what. It's weird with the Boston thing. You could get into this because there's been talks about the Mets and the Yankees meeting with Juan Soto. The meeting hasn't occurred that I know of, right? Has there been a meeting yet? Or it's scheduled? What's going on? All of a sudden, Boston comes out and said we already had a meeting. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's going to get done one way or another. There's going to be meetings, but I found it interesting. You hear New York talking about, hey, we got meetings set up, but Boston got in there a little bit early. Does it really matter, though? Doesn't it behoove the last person who really talks to Juan Soto?
Right. And that's, the thing is these teams, they want to do it early, but they also want to be late because you want to have that last offer. So now is the wine and dine meetings. Okay. And we'll get ballpark figures. And I've seen everything from 630 million US up 700 million. So, and goes from there.
I don't see it getting to 7.
The deal with Boston, apparently, that I just saw an hour ago, I don't have the years, but it was 600 to get negotiations.
Well, did you hear? The Yankees are saying the same thing. He's like, hey, if you're happy of being in New York, we'll say, or something about 600. That's the number I'm hearing. Again, is that the legitimate number? I don't know. Again, we're at the mercy on whoever reports this stuff.
Right, exactly. Now, also, how many years? So, for example, is this a 13-year, $650 million, which would give him $50 million a year? Or are we talking a 10-year deal? Because here's the thing. He's 26 now. You do a 13-year deal, that gets him to 39, almost 40. Mm-hmm. So you just got to be careful about that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the deals, work out. Like Bryce Harper got like the 13-year deal from Philadelphia with the Phillies, So, I'm just all fascinated to see how it's gonna play out.
What do you think about money, Tom? What do you think about money? Eric and I debate. I said it could go 720. He thinks less, years. What do you think it comes in at? When all is said and done, no matter the team, what do you think he closes on, signs the deal?
He could close 12 years, $720 million.
No way.
That's exactly what I said.
Don't see it. I don't see 720.
Eric, that's what I said.
I don't see 720. Here's a question. Here's a question.
I think if it's 600 already, it can only
How
go.
about this? How about this? Do you think, is there possible? Well, actually, there's two things I want to talk about here. First and foremost, the deferrals. You're allowed to do that. With the current CBA, you could do it. You could have deferrals. Now, here's the question. What was the reason why Shohei wanted to have deferrals?
Well,
he didn't want to handcuff the Dodgers from going out there and getting additional talent.
Correct.
Now, he's going to get paid one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
Shohei Ohtani's getting the $700 million. Is Juan Soto of the same ilk as Shohei? Would he sacrifice? Now, he may not defer 97% of it, but would he defer parts of his contract so it doesn't handcuff whatever club that he goes to, so they can additionally still put a roster together that's going to compete? I mean, do you see that within Juan Soto? I mean, you're in New York, you've seen him play. Do you think he has that in him? I don't know.
He might, but here's the thing. He doesn't have, let's say, a close relationship with, let's say Ohtani did with Yamamoto, so is he pulling paisan, an Italian phrase for countryman? Does he have a countryman or buddy that he's willing to be? I call it the Tom Brady treatment. Let's say, Tom Brady
took less to get better. Yeah.
He took less to get better, and also that helped sign other players. Keeping Gronk on the team, Julian Edelman, other guys. He always took less, so he would have a better chance to win. I just don't know if, I don't know Soto's DNA like that. He might be unselfish like that. We'll see. Time will tell.
Okay, here's a question then. Does that allow, as we're talking about with Juan Soto really leaving New York, would that be an option where does it open up more teams getting into the Juan Soto bidding if he's willing to defer? And word is getting around, hey, he's willing. But again, it might be dependent on which team is talking. Maybe he'll have a deferral for, say, New York, or maybe he won't have a deferral for San Francisco. These are just hypotheticals, just throwing it out there. So I don't know, man. I guess it all depends on where he really wants to go. That's the beauty of being a free agent. You kind of
absolutely. So, I got to make a shout out to Kyle McKiernan in there. I hope you have somebody to pinch hit, babysitting you, with your 4-year-old and 2-year-old. So my heart goes out to you, bro. So just hang in there, man. Keep the faith. So we'll try to get you through this. So, but I wanted to give him a shout out. So some of the comments in the in there. So PMG, interesting. Also buying the Boston hype. So listen, it's just great to see.
I would not. I'm telling you. Again, we don't know what they're doing.
Not to get Tom all wound up here.
In 2022, San Diego Padres. Remember, we're talking about the last team to come in and bid. They try to get judged by offering the most.
Yep.
It didn't work. I could see maybe the Padres doing that again with Soto. You never know.
You don't want to wait too late, though.
No.
Not too late, but I think there's a right time to strike. And I think, again, it's going to come down to maybe that. Again, we don't know. Everyone says, and I've said it too, that, hey, Juan Soto wants the most money. So if someone comes in at the very end, because I think Aaron Judge was a little bit different because he wanted to be a Yankee, period.
Well,
he was driving up the price.
I think Soto wants the cash, and I don't think he's going to defer.
He wanted to be Judge wanted to be a Yankee, but also the Yankees could offer him one thing that other teams couldn't: the captainship. Captain of the New York Yankees, Thurman Munson, Derek Jeter, Aaron Judge, and so many more over the years. And if he keeps his numbers up, he's going to be in Monument Park. Got a good chance at the Hall of Fame. So,
he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
That's hard to argue.
And if you think about it, that's what you're doing. You're signing a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, but no disrespect to our Yankee fans, including Tommy, though. I know it was touch and go for a while after that World Series loss. We were worried about guys in the chat, Eric, weren't they? The guys were chirping every night. Tommy okay? We haven't seen Tom for a couple of weeks. Is he okay? Until you mysteriously showed up on the air in Mexico. But
until you mysteriously showed up in Mexico.
Yeah, that's true too. I walked up behind him and I said,
"Oh my God,
are you the guy? Are you the guy from Giant Sports Talk Live?" He's like, "Yes, it's you." But I'll say to you, Tom, and no disrespect intended, you talk about a monument park and wearing the Captain C. Sure as hell better start playing like it.
Yeah. Well, listen,
become postseason play, man. What a letdown.
Postseason. Well. Yeah,
it was.
Hey, he's going to be the MVP.
Eric and I looked at those numbers. Holy smoke!
It's bad. But he's going to be an MVP. Period. It sucked in the postseason.
Yeah,
but he is.
Remember, it's based upon
yes,
the regular
Edwin. Yes, all us San Francisco Giants fans remember arson. That was not good.
Hey, by the way, guys, if I can take just a quick break at this point of the show and remind everybody, we have a record number tonight, Eric, of viewers. This sets a new record for us, a record number of viewers on our Twitter page, X. So if you're watching there, a reminder, you can find us on YouTube. That is what I'll call our natural platform where you can you can subscribe, hit a notification bell. You'll always know when we're talking about Juan Soto, talking Major League Baseball, and more specifically, the Giants. So we welcome everybody over there on the Twitter X Giants ST Live, but you can join us as well on the page known as Giant Sports Talk Live YouTube. You can sign up, do all that jazz. Just want to let everybody know because that's we're setting record numbers over there on our Twitter tonight, guys.
Right on. Yes, Christian. Real quick, John Heyman. You don't follow John Heyman too much, do you, Tommy? I mean, I do on Twitter, but my God, that guy, man. All he is he's just a mouthpiece for the freaking agents, man, right?
Well, here's the thing, though. Yes, you're correct on that. However, agents use him. Agents use reporters all the time. And the thing of it is, he's been around a long time. MLB Network insider. So they're feeding different stories to him, and listen, he'll pass it along. I was just reading this article here. Look, November 6th. With regards to signing in Soto and Alonso seeing this possibility for Mets, and that was according to MLB Network's insider John Heyman. So he's already laying, Steve Cohen himself or one of his top lieutenants said, they called John Heyman and said, look, this is what we're going to do. Juan Soto and Pete Alonso. And the Mets really have to do it. They have to re-sign Alonso, Polar Bear, the fans love him. I know a bunch of Mets fans. They love him. He's great for the.
But don't they need a starting pitcher? Supposedly they said they want starting pitching. So how are you gonna pay for Alonso, Soto, and a starting pitcher? I guess it is Cohen.
If anybody can do it, it's Steve Cohen, and he's a fan, which I love. The guy's a gazillionaire. He's also a fan. It's time to put up or shut up. Just Apple phone, whatever you got. I got an Android. Just load it up, put it down, whatever you guys want to sign for. Just line them up in one room. Said, hey, boom, 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 boom. And he could do that.
Oh man! And again, with the I know the big news, of course, that came from Heyman, and thank you, Ibrahim, for triggering my memory about that when he brought up talking about Heyman. The big news was supposedly the Blue Jays are going to be the big guys that you have to watch out for. But look, I understand Rogers have a lot of money, but you think they're going to pay out big? Look, you got two other free agents next year in Bichette and Vlad Jr. Would they are those they not? Yes, they got the money, but they never seem to be the team that quote unquote pays the big money. All right. What do you think? Think they could do all that? Can they sign those two? The guys who are already in the organization and get Juan Soto and have to get starting pitching as well? Because they traded off quite a bit of starters last year, right, Glenn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really lacking. But that's where Eric and I every night, Tom, also talk about the fact that no dominoes have fallen. Are the Jays rebuilding?
Oh, yeah.
Over a period of years? Or are they all in now? Because if they get Soto, this has got to be not just a work in progress. Like the Sox are planning. We get Soto, boom, we're going all in, both feet. So you don't know what kind of we don't know what any of these teams in Major League Baseball, including Jays, Red Sox, and our beloved Giants. We don't even know what direction teams are taking yet till guys start falling off the board.
Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to Mark Conta. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm sorry. My eyesight sucks. Sorry. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
More Katna.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean, is it just all smoke and mirrors with the Blue Jays, or do you think they're really in on Juan Soto?
I don't know. You know, I'd have to ask Lenny, you know, and we'd have to bug the Blue Jays facilities, you know.
Because they were all in on Shohei last year, and that we all know how that turned out with
listen, give them credit. They tried. I think in the end, look, Ohtani wanted to stay in Southern California, and the Dodgers were that they used everybody. Yankees, Blue, everybody, Giants, they used them all. And then, you know, he got the max money, and, you know, so it is what it is. So, sorry to William Ravelli in Toronto. So one of my exes was from Toronto. Worst 4 years of your life. So sorry about that, buddy. But get back to Toronto. There's a lot of great women up there, man. So, you know, so beautiful women up there. So
you're on your own there.
Yeah.
Eric and I are going to go on a break now.
Man,
I love reading the comments. People here is that they brought stars and strippers, you know. So
all right then.
I love the comments, guys.
You can't believe the comments. Who's Marcus? Marcus just wants me to quit now. He says, let Eric do the show from now on. Eric's better without you. So
oh man.
And Eric knows what happens when guys make comments like that.
Oh my gosh.
Right, Eric?
Anyway,
Eric has to talk me off a ledge once in a while. He goes, where's Marcus? I go, I just banned him from the show. That's all right.
Oh, Marcus is decent. He's a Dodger fan.
For now.
Fair enough.
He wants me to quit.
JB82 agrees with us with regards to the 12 years, $720 million. So
I'm not buying that one. I'm not. I don't see it. No way. There's no way he gets more than Shohei. No, I don't see. Look, if this is maybe 5 years removed from Shohei's contract, I could get it with quote unquote inflation. But man, he just signed last year for $700. Juan Soto is not a Shohei Ohtani. I just don't see it. I think there's just a lot of hype.
He can't pitch. No, I agree 100%. Yeah. But I think he's got it primed in the sense that teams are so desperate. He's the best guy out there, you know. So
yeah, I thought Tom made a great comment today, didn't you, Tom? Was it on today's radio show? I'm sure it was this morning. I know it was early in the morning, so you and I were like the cobwebs out of the eyeballs and stuff. It was early for that show. By the way, guys, Eric went a little late on the show last night, so Tom filled in for Eric on Eric's show on the radio with me this morning. If you can figure all that out, I think Tommy said that. Didn't you think that a good aspect of the Shohei Ohtani LA Dodger pitching would be coming out of the bullpen? Did you say that on the show today?
I did. Yes, I did. On the record, I'm on the air on that because, look, he's got a torn labrum. And to build himself back up, that might be the place to go. You know, coming back mid to late next year, pitching-wise, you know, his bat is lethal. Build him up slowly. And kind
I think that shoulder wasn't his throwing shoulder, though. It's his catching shoulder.
I don't think so either, but you got to be real careful about that. You know, I mean,
understandable.
You know,
a lot of stress in that pit throwing.
Yeah.
A lot of stress.
Yeah. And,
but it's his catching shoulder. It wasn't his throwing shoulder. Big difference.
Yeah, but still.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, build himself back up slowly so you don't risk, you know, so for example, if they try to roll him out in spring training or early in the season trying to pitch and hit, that might backfire. So I would take it slow, see how throwing goes in spring training, but I would top him off at like maybe 40, 50 pitches, if that, you know, and just really go baby steps. And then maybe, you know, add a couple of pitches a week, you know, because you just got to be careful with a talent like that. He's a transformational generation talent. So you just got to be careful. So
Yeah, I thought it was a great take this morning. You jumped onto that. I don't know what we were talking about, but we were at some point you mentioned that. I thought that was interesting. Right? Can you imagine that, Eric? And there was talk that wouldn't surprise to anybody, would it, guys? Wasn't there rumors and innuendo chatter in the postseason that, hey, maybe the Dodgers will be bringing Shohei out of the bullpen in the playoffs?
Yeah, they kind of squashed that pretty damn quick.
Yeah, but maybe they're floating that idea that
he wants to be a starting pitcher, and they're paying him a lot of money to be a starting pitcher. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. He might eventually wind up being an opinion. Hey, Tommy, real quick, staying on Soto. There was news that came out a couple of weeks ago too. Tampa Bay Rays were checking in on Juan Soto. They don't even have a stadium to play in, but yet they're checking in.
They don't even have a roof. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And who in the comments said Calgary Rays? I just want to go up there and see who said Calgary Rays.
I think it was PMG said Calgary Rays.
PMG, correct. So, yep, at 10:18 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, the Calgary Rays, look, they got to get a roof over their stadium first.
Well, they do have a Yankee connection right now, don't they, guys?
They're going to go play. They're going to go play at the Yankees
spring training facility.
Right.
And I don't know what that seats, but I saw an aerial photo. We're talking, it's Sacramento again.
It doesn't matter. The Rays don't draw people anyways.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter.
Not a good look for Major League Baseball.
Well, it's an accident, though. It wasn't because of contracts. It's not because it's not the same situation as with a damn hurricane came and ripped off their roof.
Yeah, but it's opening people's eyes to the situation. A lot of people don't hear anything. They don't know anything about Tampa. They don't know that when you go there, there's 8,000 people in that massive domed, crappy stadium. Well, now the eyes are going to be opened up where they're playing in Florida in front of, 10,000 people all over again. I just think that Major League, we saw that in the NHL, Tom, with the Phoenix Coyotes. What a mess. They kept leaving the team there, making excuse after excuse. Last year, Eric, the Phoenix Coyotes, they even put that team into a 5,000-seat NHL. It wasn't even at that point, you can't call it an arena, a rink, a facility. And finally, they pulled the plug on them, moved them to Utah. Yeah. It's time the league got serious with these teams, Eric. If they're not in it to play Major League Baseball on the field and off, then get them the hell out of these cities, Eric.
Yeah. But, man, you guys went totally different direction. What else? With Tampa Bay calling in about Juan Soto. This is and here another team, his former team, Washington Nationals, was checking in on Juan Soto. And we talked about it here in the chat when that was announced. It tells me maybe his market.
Seats. Yeah, I was thinking about 10,000.
His market might be a little bit softer than we think. I don't see the 700. And if the Rays and the Nationals are checking in, again, they're seeing something out there that it's not going to be this astronomical. Look, is it going to be expensive? Absolutely. But I don't think with this hype of 700, 800, whatever it may, I just can't see it, man.
I don't know, Eric. Boston Red Sox come in already. 600's the report. I mean, that's just getting the ball rolling.
Right. Exactly. I get it. But is it going to really vary?
It won't go down. Won't go down.
Oh, it won't go down. No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Tommy always says, look at Alfonso says Soto's going to chase the biggest Brinks truck. And Tom always says that Brinks truck is always parked out in Flushing. Is that right, Tom?
Well,
correct.
And I tell you what, Greg Johnson has a shit ton of money too. It's all about the willingness to open up the coffers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Cohen is willing to break it open. Johnson, on the other hand, not so much.
Tom, Eric's always talked about the teams that are going to spend the money inevitably will make the money back like the Dodgers did with Ohtani in just this first season. Look at the money they brought in endorsements and extra sales. And I mean, they were selling sponsorships to airlines from Japan and running specials to come over and see them. I mean, there's money to be made. I think that's what's going to make a big decision here come to light. Is it going to be somebody who says, I'm going to treat this as an investment, not just a signing, an investment in my team and financially?
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Sometimes you got to do that. Look, Shohei Ohtani is a damn unicorn. We say that a lot. The guy is just, no one is going to be like Juan Soto and probably Juan Soto, like Shohei Ohtani in our lifetime. Is Juan Soto going to be the same as Shohei? No, I'm not going to even, no, it's not. But he's still, as Glenn, what you're saying, he's still going to be marketable. He's still going to make you money, man. Again, it's the willingness, and it's also what is the direction. We just don't know the direction. We're going to know the direction here once this offseason has concluded, as far as the San Francisco Giants are concerned. To be honest with you, whoever signs Juan Soto is going to show the direction of whatever club signs him. It's going to be fun to watch. It makes for exciting baseball offseason.
Absolutely. Listen, I got to give a shout out to some of these comments. First of all, you got hepatitis. See you later. I mean, that's quite a screen name. So he asked Derek, what would your reaction be if it was revealed that the Rays had a higher offer for Soto?
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
That would honestly, that would shock me. The Rays? I mean, come on. I mean, their damn budget is probably going to be more or less. Their budget is less than what they would pay 1 year for Juan Soto.
Just him. But wouldn't that really prove, Eric, a point that some owners are just saying, I want the best player?
Rays, usually the Rays. I don't know who owns the Rays, but they have not done that. Everything they've done is through their farm system. Everything. They very rarely go out there and spend the big money for a free agent.
They were owned by a hedge fund guy out of New York who actually was a big lifelong Mets fan. He had the opportunity. He bought the team. My late friend Robert, who passed in 2012, had an encounter with him because he wasn't spending the money in the mid-2000s. And then they made that late, run in, 08, 09. They had a really good run. And, but that's the thing about the Rays. Now, they are politically connected in the sense that the governor, Ron DeSantis, he's a baseball guy, played baseball at Yale. He's a fan. Maybe they're working behind the scenes to get some money. First of all, they do got to get a roof and they got to get a facility. They really should move it from St. Pete into Tampa. That's where because I've made that drive. I've traveled that before. It's not fun, especially in traffic. They delay games because of traffic. So, for example, instead of like a regular 7:00 game, you're talking like a 7:30. Not as bad as Dodgers traffic, but still, it's something significant. They need to do what the Giants did, putting it downtown. And that's what the Rays need to do. They need to put it in downtown Tampa. But listen, they got the whole deal with St. Pete. It is what it is, but just putting it out there. Now, with regards to Anonymous, Judge has zero chance at the Hall of Fame. Here's the thing. If he's able to win one ring, yes, with the exception of that fifth inning, which was terrible. But if he can get over the hump with the ring, keep some good stats, home run rise, I think he's got a good shot at the Hall of Fame. But listen, time will tell. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong, but we'll see what happens. So,
Eric, Tom, don't you think that the whole Tropicana thing, now that the roof is like blown off this whole thing, don't you see this as now, as I talked about moving the team, an opportunity to say, you don't build a new roof. We just time has come for a stadium.
Yeah.
Screw the roof. Just let's start over. Because I've seen that stadium. Okay. My God, that and the King Dome are the two worst that I've ever been in.
Is there a rabid fan base of Tampa Bay Ray fans, or you think they just moved the team?
Well, here's the thing. I've been to a bunch of Rays games. The problem, normally when the Yankees are in town, you have maybe a diehard base of about 5,000 to 10,000, and then when the Yankees come in, Red Sox,
transplants fans. That's what it is. Right.
Toronto comes in, Baltimore comes in. They'll get a lot of fans. The snowbirds. Who'll come in for like a weekend, stuff like that.
Yeah, but that sucks too. I can tell you firsthand. Do you know how many Sharks games I went to? Starting a year ago, this past hockey season, you go to a Sharks game against Detroit, and 3/4 of the tank is in red. And then you go see them play the Winnipeg Jets, and all of a sudden, 2 nights later, it's blue. When you're trying to run a ball team, a hockey team, football, no matter what sport, and you're relying on the fans of the other team, then it's just, you know what? Get the hell out. Sell the team, move the team, whatever. Like, what are they doing? I just don't understand.
Glenn, as a fan, I agree with you, but it's all about money. And if you can get enough fans to make it look respectable on TV, and listen, we know with the TV now, they're really talented where they just focus on the rink itself. Okay, yes, they had to use smoke and mirrors in Phoenix with the Coyotes and stuff like that in Arizona. But it's all about TV, streaming money. That's where it's at.
Streaming maybe, but I think there's going to be a demise, a huge demise in television revenues and contracts. I said that to Eric a while ago. I said, I can see you sign a player like Soto now to that big money, 10 years from now, is there even going to be games on a television? Are networks going to pay this big money whenever? I'm telling you, it's going to go streaming. There are half the teams in Major League Baseball afraid. Some of them already have lost their TV deals, Tom.
Yes. Yeah. Well, look at Apple TV picks up games. It's so fragmented right now. Will it consolidate, around, Pix 11 was the big one in New York for years for games. But now you got Fox is grabbing some games. Apple TV's grabbing some games. So it's like, it's always confusing. You always got to check who's on, So for me, I listen to a lot of games on the radio, because, like let's say the Yes Network gets blacked out in certain locations. So it's just, it's a pain in the butt. But, we love our baseball. As long as the demand is there, they'll find some way to fill it and for us to.
I know why. I know why you're listening to the radio, Eric. See, Tom's already let the cat out of the bag. It's Susan Waldron. You like listening to Susie, don't you?
Listen, Susan's
Tom's a ladies' man. I got to tell you guys, Tom's a ladies' man.
Well, listen, Susan's a legend. I actually went in Cooperstown.
He's the color commentator, by the way.
In 2009, after the Yankees won the World Series, beat the Phillies. Her scorecard's up there. She's a legend, and I hopefully hope she gets in the Hall of Fame sooner rather than later. John Sterling, who was on for like 36 years, he retired at the beginning of the season, then came back for the last week of the season in the playoffs. He's actually going to be replaced by a guy, Dave Sims.
From Seattle.
Dave Sims.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, he used to write for the New York Daily News.
And he was on WFAN.
Yep. And so, guy's 71 years old. So, he's paid his dues. He was with the Seattle for like 20 years. So, God bless him, wish him well. Because New York during the season, they just had a bunch of people and it, just didn't work out, so, but Dave's a solid guy.
We'll talk another night about Dave. Dave Sims, he was employed with ESPN, lost his job there, all over female employees working with him. That was quite
Yeah. No,
and that's why he ended up out on the West Coast in Seattle. But I again, back to the TV deals. I think TV is there's going to be some big changes, and it could affect money. I don't think streaming revenues are going to bring in. And one of the things you mentioned, Eric, Tom, that Eric and I have discussed is the fact that now that they're going to streaming, and you've got all these networks. Like I can turn on a game; it's on Peacock. Well, what was the channel, Eric? The Mystery Channel or the Sci-Fi Channel had a ball game on. True TV. So the problem's coming now where I'm texting Eric in the fourth inning going, I can't find the damn game. I've checked every channel. He's like, oh, did you check True TV? I'm like, oh, first, yeah, of course I did. Like, what are they doing now?
Well, listen, with True TV, you only see that really 1 month a year during March Madness, and then when they pick up an occasional game here or there.
There were quite a few, actually, weren't there, Eric? Down the stretch, baseball.
There's a few.
And the Ion Network, and I'm just finding, like you used the term splintered or fractured, like nothing is the major networks in each city anymore, right? When they had sports, what were they had? Sports Channel New York, and they had Bally.
Nesson in Boston. So
tell you what, I'm going to bring this up because this is interesting, talking about money and how the baseball clubs make it. This is from Forbes back in March of 2024. See that 47.8? Media.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn money that clubs are making off of media.
Right now.
General seating. Look at that. Not even a quarter. Not even a quarter of what the budget is.
Isn't that
Premium
bizarre, guys?
seating sitting at about getting close to 11%.
Right.
Then you got stadium sponsorships. Look at that. Stadium sponsorships almost right up there with the freaking premium seatings. And then you got other. I don't know what the hell other is. What the hell's other?
Hot dogs,
Concessions,
probably,
merchandise.
beers.
There you go. Yep, that's exactly what it is. But again, I'm telling you, I don't know if it's going to be streaming. Maybe it will. But right now, at this particular time, clubs are making a shit ton of money off of these TV deals.
But
the Los Angeles Dodgers, what was their deal? Like $7 billion? Something like that, right?
But I don't know if you guys
$7
read.
billion, man. That's
I
a
don't know
lot
if you
of money.
guys have read. There are teams entering this major league season don't have a deal. The TV is just gone.
Because of Bally, isn't that what it was?
So what does that do to signing players, Eric?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's why I'm saying you sign a player like Soto, and all of a sudden, in our lifetime, TV deals go the way of the dodo bird. Then all of a sudden, where's the money coming from? You're thinking, should I have made that deal 11 years ago?
Right. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We don't know. I mean, at this current time right now, I mean, these TV deals are freaking monstrous. Now, is it going to – now, media can also include streaming. So, look, it's not going to go – the media aspect is not going away. Will it transition from TV to streaming? Oh, you can already see it. But right now,
but I don't trust it, Eric. I don't trust streaming. Eric, I'll give you a prime example. Did you watch the fight last night?
Don't even get me started. I was
watching. I'd say, "Oh, here comes a big punch," and all of a sudden, the arm was in the air like this for 2 minutes. I'm like,
"Yeah, it was
what happened?" It was buffering. It was stopping. I had to change channels. It was crazy.
That's why I think right now, I don't think streaming maybe for take that type of. For example, you think you could stream the World Series? I don't see that happening. So
okay, well,
it's going to come though. It's going to come.
Mm-hmm. It's coming now. Let's look at last night's fight. You know who saved the day? Antonio Brown. So he took his cell phone, okay? He put it up and he trained it on the big screen at Cowboy Stadium.
Oh, did he really?
7.6 million people watched it.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's crazy, man. So that's Netflix has had that issue before with other events. So I think it's more Netflix itself as opposed to the technology.
Talk about how to get viewers.
Yeah, that's not a good time for Netflix to start buffering. Did you see that, man? I was like, "What is this, man?" Holy crap.
I just thought it was maybe my connection, but I was all of a sudden my phone was popping up. Are you watching the fight, Glennie? I'm like, yeah. They're like, same problem all over.
So Antonio Brown streamed it on X or on Twitter, and 7.6 million people. That's how they watch the fight. So
that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anonymous saying streaming does not preclude teams from making money. Not at all. In fact, the money is exponentially better with streaming rights. Good example. Look what Netflix paid for that damn Tice. That was just.
But without getting into too many details,
it's coming though.
Yeah,
guys. Without getting into too many details, and I know some of you out there are aware, Eric. I believe you are. The problem with streaming, there are ways around it. People won't pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. There's always. Hey, when TV first came out, people were freaking hacking TVs.
Once it hits the internet, I've said to Eric, I said, guys, and hey, if you want to go do it, fine. During the Giants baseball season, Tom, and in New York, all the cities, you can find a channel on YouTube, and if you're out of market, you can follow. We call it here at Giant Sports Talk Live, following the dots. But you can listen on your couch in San Francisco to the Yankee game and follow it along. That's illegal, but people are doing it. You can find television, you can find radio broadcasts, you can find because man, the internet, they can't police it.
Well, not all of it. Well, they eventually get them, but yeah,
except when Eric and I play a tune on YouTube.
Yes,
we track us down, right?
Right.
Yeah. But I'm telling you guys, I think there'll be money. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to be Look at what's happening with the media in the Bay Area, Tom. Sports radio is almost defunct now.
Oh, crazy, man.
Layoffs
The big AM station here, Tommy, KMBR 680.
KMBR, I love KMBR. Yeah.
They laid off one of the longest tenured employees, Tom Tolbert. He got the axe after 28 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then John Lund, who's been with with KMBR for a little while, he also got the axe. And then what was it? Who are the two guys, Glenn, that you know over there?
Oh, you told me that Lamont and Tonelli's show was affected too.
I believe
Lamont
so.
Hollywood on 107.7 The Bone. Lamont's he worked at 92 City FM here in Winnipeg before he made his big mark in the Bay he's been there probably 20 years. But still, I didn't even know that. I can't confirm. Eric says he's gone. And this isn't the first wave of layoffs. The summer, they broke up, I thought, arguably the number one sports radio morning show.
Murph and Mac.
They got Murph and Mac. Now it's Murph and it ain't Mac. Yeah. So, Tom, these especially sports radio. Yeah. I said, Eric and I talked about 3 hours ago. We were having a phone conversation. I said, Eric, you can only whittle the stick so long until you just got a pile of shavings, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, ESPN has gone through that in New York. They've tried different lineups to go, against, Boomer and Carton, or Gio, whoever it was. Yeah, Lamont and Tonelli's last show was yesterday. Yeah. I mean, when I first got Sirius XM radio, I would like listening after the Yankee game on my way home. I used to have the device before it really got on the phones. And, radio newspapers are dying. I'm a newspaper journalism major from years back. So
I own radio. Let's hope it don't die. Come on.
Yeah.
Spread the love.
No. I have plenty of love for the radio and newspapers and stuff like that. With regards, I would listen to KNBR. So I'd listen to John Miller for years. So after the Yankee game would go, I'd listen to John Miller, and then I bounce. There was Coleman, who would do the San Diego games. He was a former Yankee going way, way back, to like the 50s and 60s. So Mr. Coleman's passed on, unfortunately, but it's a shame. I mean, look, the Cardinals did that same thing. They were on KMOX for decades, and then they sold out. So it's like it has to get to a point where where's that break even now with WFAN in New York. They have, as long as they stay the flagship of the Yankees, they'll be able to chart the course because there's enough money coming in from the Yankee side. But they're under a lot of pressure. There have been cutbacks. ESPN, they took over 98.7, which was a great, R&B station, legendary. But it costs so much money for that. They decided to go all digital. So, Michael Kay, Yankees broadcaster, great guy. I've met him years ago. But he got a big renewal, but he's TV and radio. So if it's just radio itself, the money's in trouble. If there's some tie-in to TV, they might be able to justify it. But he's one of those legacy legends who's been around the business, and he still has enough. But for younger guys trying to break in the business, it's really hard.
Oh, there's no such thing as there's no career.
Yeah.
It's a job now. There's no career in radio like I had. I mean, I've worked in radio 40 years. You can't get a guy at a radio school. There basically are no radio schools anymore. They're becoming defunct. And if anybody asks me, my son wants to go to radio school and get into, I go, my word of advice is find another line of employ.
Right. I remember you told me to get a job.
First of all, get a job where you get a pension.
Oh, what's this? Just coming across. Matter of fact, the man of the hour.
What?
Here we go.
What happened?
Here we go.
And
the man of the hour.
Oh, here we go.
Well, let's see what we got.
Today. It took place today.
Cohen and other Mets. Big Mets with superstar free agent Juan Soto Saturday. So today, guys, I'll bring up the article. We can read it together. Again, guys, take it for what it's worth. All right? Take it.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, while you're bringing up the article, initial reaction, Tom, over there in New York, what are you thinking?
It's not surprising because they were rolling out Carlos Beltran, as we were talking about earlier. So yeah, listen, they're making their pitch. And
Again, guys, just take it for what it's worth. Very detailed meeting. According to John Heyman, the guys, remember, this is all we're getting right now. I'm rolling with what we have, okay? Mets owner Steve Cohen led a contingent of high-ranking Mets officials to meet with superstar free agent Juan Soto, blah, blah, blah. All early signs suggest the meeting went extremely well, and the Mets remain viewed as one of the favorites for the services of Soto. Blah, blah, blah. It isn't known yet whether offers are being made at meetings this week, but it is all but certain the 26-year-old will set a record for actual contract value, and this deal could reach $600 million or possibly $700
or $720.
Now, could reach. Look at this. Could reach six. How can you go from could reach to possibly? You can't say could reach and then all of a sudden say possibly 700.
Yeah.
How about you say?
I think that was just a misappropriation of words there, Eric. That's all.
Hey, just saying. Word is the Mets presentation was a big production. Very detailed. So they obviously poured a lot of work into the initial meeting with their top target. What's that? Glenn. The Yankees, also considered among the favorites, are due in Monday to Orange County for their meeting. Okay.
Tom, this is all stuff Eric's talked about. A big presentation.
How about that?
Wheel in. When they're going to cater the event. They come in with the carts with the wheels. Eric says, bring in the cart, but have the 3 World Series trophies of last decade.
No. He walks in with 2 trophies in both arms. That's what you do with the 3 rings. That's what you do. Anyways, while the Yankees are the incumbent, the Mets the Mets hold a few advantages, starting with Cohen's wherewithal and his determination to bring a sustainable winner to Queens. The Mets also made it to the NLCS this season and appear to be on the upswing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And that is it.
All right, then I have another question for you.
That's it, guys.
Eric's well aware of this. Tom, they're talking in that article at the close, the Mets are the upswing. And hey, they had a great postseason, but let's call a spade a spade. I think it was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. This was a team that couldn't win. What were they, like 10-30 to start the year, Tom?
No, they were horrible.
They went on this tear, like 34-8, starting in early June.
Because of Grimace.
That just carried them.
That was Grimace's. Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
Blame Grimace. Why don't you sign Grimace? Hey, Steve Cohen, go sign Grimace, man.
Yeah.
Leave Juan Soto to somebody else.
I know you brought it up earlier, but we didn't give a shout out. I want to thank Darren Marchand for the. You mentioned his name? I just wanted to make sure he got
gave him, while he was talking, I gave him the
yeah, I wanted to make sure Darren gets a shout out. We appreciate that for the contribution to the program.
So, big presentation, right? That's what I've been saying. You got to do a break. Now, granted, you can't take him out to center field because everyone's going to him to see. They're going to him in Southern California, I should say. You can't. I guess you could still get a helicopter. Granted, it's got to be. You got to find it in Southern. I don't know if you want to fly it all the way to San Francisco, but you got to do a little bit of adjusting with your presentation. But again, we saw this coming. Look, is it really breaking news? The only thing that's breaking is they actually had the meeting. They actually had. Look at this. Posey has spent the whole week in the AV room making an iVideo movie for Soto. Hey, Anonymous, they should give me a ring. Give me a ring. Listen, I got ideas, man. I got ideas.
Well, listen, Wakanda, I'm sorry, my eyesight's shot.
Did you just say Kaka?
Giants are going to be lazy and just steal Eric's video.
I think it's Eric. I think it's time. Tommy might be saying, "What are they talking about? What's the chat talking about, Eric?"
I'll tell you what. You want to talk about? I could look. Am I a freaking? Is this my profession? No, but hey, I'm happy. Check this out. What I did for
bringing it.
Trying to get Juan Soto.
Bring it, brother. Bring it.
All right, there you go, Tommy D. You see that? Like I said, as a fan, I'm doing my part. That's all I can do.
Listen. You should tweet that out to the Giants, man.
Oh, he already
have. I already have. I tweeted it out to Boris Corp. I've tweeted it out to the Giants, and I've tried to find Juan Soto. I don't think is on Twitter. Otherwise, I would have done it to him too.
Eric has tweeted that to everyone who will actually have an inbox and a pair of eyeballs.
Oh, man.
Oh, by the way, once again, I mentioned earlier, we have a record, Eric, and I mean, we have surpassed it by quite a bit. We have a record number of viewers tonight in our Twitter account, Giants ST Live, Sports Talk Live. So if you're watching on Giants ST Live, you can also catch us over on YouTube, which is our monumental platform. It's where we get our start. Giant Sports Talk Live on the YouTube. It's interactive. We also have giantsportstalklive.com. We have giveaways. All you have to do is come over to the YouTube page, like and subscribe, hit the notification button over there. I know we appreciate you over on the X, but do us a favor, come on over, and then you'll be part of the show. You can sign up for notifications. You can find out more about our giveaways. We got, Eric, do you want to tell them? Oh, I guess we'll just say tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow is a big day, as long as it comes through in time, right?
Hey, have I let you down before?
No, you have not. All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna have a special announcement tomorrow.
Big announcement.
Wait, hold on. I hear the jingling of some bells, Glenn. In my ear, I hear some jingling of those bells. It's that time of the year, Glenn.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Show me the dough.
Show me. Well, speaking of which, did you see Ibrahim Khan's comment?
Oh, Ibrahim comes in with some great stuff.
Oh, man. Dude, he is our record setter. That guy, I told him last night he could get a job working over at like NBC or one of the late shows, working as a copywriter.
The guy is a huge supporter of the channel. The guy is awesome.
He is.
We appreciate him just as much as he appreciates us. We appreciate him as well.
Absolutely. I wanted to note that. So,
the team that wants him should have $650 million in prop money set up in a room and let him dive into it.
How about that?
Oh, you know what you know how cheap the Giants have been in the past few years? Their idea of signing the contract is probably one of those air machines. He has to stand in the glass cube. How much money can you grab in 60 seconds, Juan?
Oh my God.
How much money can you grab? And Juan comes out.
And I'm telling you,
36,000.
And I said this, it's a little bit different, but hey, Greg Johnson, Tommy D. Greg Johnson is an investor. You've heard of Franklin Templeton, right? Or is it Templeton?
Of course. Yeah.
He runs it, right? So not only do you pay Juan Soto this crazy amount of money, but you invest it for him. I'll make it grow for you, man. Yeah. Hey, we'll give you the money, but we'll give you even more.
Guaranteed money. We'll promise you more.
There you go. Why not, man? Come on.
And listen, and Bay teams are great about that. For example, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and other guys, who played basketball, they were hooked up with all kinds of deals. The Warriors hooked them up with all kinds of deals, Silicon Valley deals. Kevin Durant was big when YouTube TV was coming out. He did a lot of the ads. Listen, they could also hook those guys up with crypto deals, altcoins, you name it.
Yeah,
they got the money there. It's a printing press.
Greg Johnson is all in that stuff, right? Come on.
Yeah. So,
by the way, guys, if you're new to our channel, Tommy D, Eric and I are here just about every night. Well, we're on. One of us is on every night, and then Tommy D is our special guest. Pops in every few weeks from New York City, covers the Mets, Yankees, works in radio. He also follows. You're a diehard. But while we get him on the show, here's my question now at this point. We keep deviating, but we're talking Soto. So there's all this talk. He could leave. You say it's 50-50. What's the contingency plan, do you believe, over at Yankee Stadium with the Steinbrenner crew? What if he leaves? What are you looking at? You got Dominguez. Do they have pieces in place, or are you fearful?
I'm fearful. And listen, my therapist and I, we're still working through the World Series.
That therapist get rich off you.
So, no more Sands. All therapy. All therapy. So, It's
I
gonna
told
be,
Eric he's got to come to the Sands, put up with us for a week.
Yeah,
Wouldn't he?
man.
Like, it's
oh my
unbelievable.
God,
isn't it?
that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be
It's
a lot of fun.
unbelievable.
It's
Unbelievable.
not my,
But listen, I got a
not my thing.
comment on May Day Mamba 008, but the
Hmm.
Warriors couldn't hook up Clay. Shaking my head. Listen, 100% with you. The Warriors made a huge mistake in re-signing Draymond Green. How many times has this guy been suspended? You take Klay Thompson, good guy, he stretches the floor, him and Steph, with when they beat Boston a couple years ago, Draymond was lagging. He was a step slow. And then he continues to get suspended, continues to have anger management issues. So the Warriors made a huge mistake in re-signing Draymond. They could have taken that money to hook Klay up. And you know what? Klay's having a great time. Actually, you know what, Eric? You can use Klay's boat because he's not using it as much in Dallas. And you can sail Juan Soto around Northern California, okay? Clay doesn't need it at the moment. Just sail him around San Francisco Bay.
Here's an occasion where I agree with Tom and not with Addy. I like Tom's take on that. I've said it. There are certain times you just have to cut bait with certain players.
Yes.
And I thought the time was now. Anyway, don't be misled, Tom. This is Giant Sports Talk Live.
I was just going to ask, how many home runs? How many home runs do those guys hit?
Yeah. One of us had to do it, or this will go off the rails.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
What about other moves around? Well, let's look at other things in baseball. Hepatitis C says Yankees backup plan a trade for Bohm, sign Profar, move Jazz to second base. Profar, Judge, Dominguez, the outfield. I like that. What about other moves around baseball? Let's look around Major League Baseball now that nothing's being done. What would you like to see, or what do you think is going to happen, Tom?
I've been so focused on Juan Soto, I haven't really paid much attention to everything else going around. But hey, look, the Mets, Chaminade, Jose Quintana, Luis Severino, they're free agents. So there's going to be a lot of other pieces. So the thing with the Soto sweepstakes, that has to be concluded quickly because these other teams are going to just say, hey, listen, we don't have a realistic shot at him. So we're just going to start, signing other guys. So that's why I think the Soto sweepstake ends either at the winter meetings or just after them and no later than Christmas, so.
Let's take a look at this, guys. You want to take a look at around the league. Again, this is coming from Major League or MLB trade rumors, I should say. Check this out. Reds Royals discussing Jonathan India trade. Reds Royals are discussing a trade that would send second baseman Jonathan India to Kansas City in exchange for right-hander Brady Singer.
I could see that. Cincinnati didn't get a big year out of him last year. Interesting. Tom, one more, and then I'll let Eric have the floor for a second. Let's jump over to Flushing, the Mets. Eric knows that I still am sore. I'm sore with Farhan and the Giants that they didn't ink pitcher by the name of Kodai Senga. They had him in their back pocket, man. They let him go. Wouldn't sign him to the 5-year deal he wanted. Next day, signs for 5. He goes, fine, I'll take the deal in New York. He was going to be a Giant. They had his picture up on the billboard behind my house, my condo. You had to look at it every day for over a week. And then, they took it off the big board because he signed in New York. Do you think that he can be what I'll call an ace? Do you think he still has the potential to be a top dog? Or do you think he's 2-3 pitcher?
At this point, I think he's a 2, borderline 1 if he's got his stuff. The ghost. I just don't know. But hey, listen, every team obviously you want to have a number 1, but you got to have 2 and 3 pitchers too. Even a good 4 and 5. You got to have it. You got to have it. So.
What's Eric drinking? Cough syrup there? What do you got going tonight, Eric?
Good stuff. The Blue Machine.
Naked.
Jeez, Tommy's into the ladies. You got naked drink going.
Hey!
Oh my!
There you go. Is that the Blue Machine? It is the Blue Machine. Hey!
Yes, sir.
Hey!
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh! I'm on the wrong channel, guys. You never guess what I got going tonight.
What you got going?
Pepsi.
They should be a proud sponsor of the show.
They should. Should sponsor
And
us.
then I know there's been a lot of news talking about Carlos Correa. Well, what is that? How do you spell his? How do you say his name? Filve downplays speculation regarding Carlos Correa. There you go. So doubt that happened. Says with the Twins up for potential sale and the front office facing payroll restrictions for the second straight season, there's been a natural focus on the part ways and where the club can look to reduce the spending of it. Trades of Chris Paddock, Christian Vasquez has long been seen a possibility. Blah, blah, with Twins' willingness to move shortstop who has 4 years and $128 million guaranteed. Remaining on his contract, but there has been no reporting to suggest that the Twins would actually consider such a move. President of Baseball Operations, Derek Falvey, apparently still sought to shut down any speculation. Not something we are focused on. So
I asked you the other day, Eric, do you think the way it imploded? I mean, we were just ready to get him to sign on the dotted line. The way that imploded,
what a mess.
He wouldn't be happy here. You think if he got traded here, I just think he'd be like, I want a no trade clause, and it's the San Francisco Giants after what Farhan pulled.
Yeah. Well, Farhan's gone now, so
I don't know still, Eric. I mean, if I was going to be a Yankee and they pulled that, I'd be like, I'd say, screw you.
yeah.
Tom doesn't like us to get in trouble with the FCC. I almost blew it there.
Well, listen, I don't want you guys to have to pay the fine. So, you know.
No, we're fine here. The good thing is we're fine here on the YouTube.
Oh, because sometimes we let it slip.
Pepsi, the official beverage of
pretty
Canada.
upset. Pepsi's the official beverage. Well, it was the official beverage of Giant Sports Talk Live. What are you guys rocking? Naked Blueberry or something over there?
Stuff's good, man. Stuff is good.
What is it,
Good
Tom?
for you, man. Good for you, naked.
The Blue Machine.
Are you guys nursing the same tonic there tonight?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, jeez.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm being outed, and I never knew I was in.
100% juice, guys.
There you
100%
go.
juice. This is
PMG.
You want
PMG.
100% juice.
What's with the blue juice, guys? Come on.
Hey.
I smell
Hey.
2 rats in the hen house here. Going on.
100% juice. That's what you get here on Giant Sports Talk Live. 100% juice.
And I got the blue can, so I guess I'm keeping it in the family. Distant cousin. LD says it's a good drink. Oh, really? Eddie F says it's owned by Pepsi. So,
well, there you go. Let's take a look.
There you go. Blue
California.
Machine. Blue Machine. While Eric's doing that, hey, Tommy, what's going on with you catching any? You're lucky, man. We got enough sports in the Bay Area, but our teams just aren't cutting it lately. The Warriors doing good, but you got the Rangers, the Islanders. Somebody chimed in the chat earlier. We didn't get to it, but they threw it. Are you a Sabres? Are you a Rangers? Or are you an Islanders fan?
Holy shit.
Actually, I grew up a Canadiens fan because of Guy Lafleur, late 70s, early 80s. And then I lived in Buffalo. I went to college there for 4 years, so I like the Sabres. I root for them. And then I lived in New York City for 24 years, so I do root for the Rangers. And then, root against the Islanders, although I respect them. A lot of great legends, Trottier and the rest of them. And I just love the sport. I don't have as much time to watch hockey, but I love the sport. So, I was rooting for Edmonton during the Stanley Cup against Florida. So, but Florida's a good team too. And I know a few Florida fans. So,
I know firsthand from covering when I worked part-time in the NHL. It's kind of a contract thing. So my last gig was Stanley Cup playoffs, Boston, Toronto last year, which was fabulous. And those are two cities that, I mean, they just bleed their hockey. Boston with the Bruins.
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a cup since 1967. The fans are rabid there. I've always wanted to ask a guy who covers teams in New York. We know what it's like to be fans. I do some coverage of teams, so I know a little bit about some of my markets. But for a fan like yourself, Tom, what is it like to see a team like the Yankees misfire? Or you look at both NFL teams misfiring. Is it as tough a market for a player as it is portrayed to be. They're like, you better have thick skin and you better be prepared to win if you go to New York.
Especially with social media now, because people get doxxed, their families and stuff like that. And that's where people take it too far, where some quote unquote fans take it too far. It's just right now, I feel bad I know a bunch of Jets and Giants fans. I'm a Bills fan. So, we got the Chiefs tomorrow. And it's hard when you're not doing well. New York's the worst place to be because there's nowhere to hide. Because you still got the outlet, you still have ESPN, you still got the Fan, and then you have social media, you have the tabloids, the Daily News, the Post, even the Times with its athletic arm, and then you got on Long Island, they have a paper. So it's just hard. Bergen County and New Jersey. So there's just nowhere to hide. Newsday in Long Island I was thinking of. So it's really hard.
Isn't it the Daily News? I'm thinking back a few years. Isn't it the Daily News where if you go to most cities around America, North America in general, you go to San Francisco, you'd never see, unless it was a World Series, you'd never see Giants on the cover. But is it the Daily News, or which one has the headline is always like scandalous sports? This team loses, this one loses, this guy's sleeping with the other player's wife. Everything on the paper when you get it every day, the cover is sports.
Isn't that the Post?
But Post and Daily News, they're
Daily
both
News,
have the front page and back, but particularly the Post. But both the News and Post will have the front and back covers, and you're fighting for that. And listen, the Giants, they had a Super Bowl run, not too long ago, but it's a Yankee and Met town. It really is a baseball town. So. You fight for those pages, not only with the other teams in your sport, but you also fight for the other, other sports. It's fascinating. There's very few places like it, maybe a little bit in Chicago, maybe a little bit in LA, but nothing like New York,
That's a little something a player has to look at too. You go to sign for a team. If you want to sign with the Giants, you want to sign with the New York Yankees, you better be prepared for what's coming at you in New York.
Yeah. And listen, not everybody can play in New York. It's a fact of life. It is what it is. So,
yep. Ibrahim says New York media is a different beast. They will rip.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
You know what's funny, Eric? I sometimes catch now. Tommy and I are very familiar with Joey Beningo and the Schmoozer overnight, everything over at WFAN. They were pretty much the flagship for the beginning of sports radio, weren't they? They were the first. They were the sports station. And it's funny, Eric. Oh, can you imagine what it would be like? We always talk about the Giants media and how Tommy, seldom a bad word is spoken about the Giants.
Right.
Eric, in New York, the WFAN morning show will carve the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
A new butthole. And the next morning, and our special guest coming up on the Boomer and Geo show, same quarterback.
Yep.
I'd be mortified to have the same guy on the show the next day that you have just torn apart. And then the next day they got him on live in studio. And you know me, Eric, I'd be in there. I'd take the two of them on. It'd be a show for the ages, but it's the market, man. You've seen that, haven't you, Tom? Where Boomer, Geo, Carlin in the morning, those guys, they'll rip a player, and then coming up Tuesday, our special guest will be. And it's funny when Eric, it's actually humorous when you see them and you see them on television and they're handed the script because they're on radio. It's just being simulcast, and he'll be like, "That guy's a bum." And our special guest on Tuesday will be the same guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. It's night. It really is. Further than the sports, the media, New York, San Francisco, night and day, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ibrahim's talking about John Boy. Yeah, John Boy's great. They got a great content out there, and they grill Boone. Oh yeah, they're not no fans of Boone.
Yep.
What's going on with Boone? There's a good topic, Tom.
He got extended. Got
extended. I wasn't so crazy about that. I mean,
what's going on with that, man? There were a lot of people thought, well, maybe he played himself out of the dugout.
I thought he did too, to be honest with you. But the thing of it is, who do you bring in? New York media is infamous. Just like, oh, fire this guy. But wait a minute. Before you do that, you better have your replacement lined up or at least have a list. I mean, I didn't want the Yankees to get rid of Joe Girardi after 2017. I think they started to click, but we didn't know the Astros were cheating. Had we known, listen, that could have changed everything, because Girardi's just a better manager than Boone. And listen, the Boone family is historic. Aaron Boone in 2003. My friend Otto was in the stands when Boone's home run came in 2003. He almost caught it. He was like 2 or 3 people away. So, yeah.
Nice.
So,
well, at that point, I'd rather be 200 away than bro. Right there.
Senior says the New York media is all a shtick.
I disagree.
No.
Now, there are some guys as shtick, but here's the thing, though. In order to make it, you got to bring the passion in. If you're not bringing the passion, like Mad Dog, who was with Mike Francesa for years, legends at WFAN. If you're not bringing the passion, Joey Beningo's officially
passion
retired.
On his sleeve, but he had passion on his sleeve.
Yeah, they still bring him in for Jets.
Oh yeah, Jets.
Even though he's technically retired,
Yeah, he was that good and that passionate that once he retired, he was like, Jesus, I should still be getting paid. I'm in here every week because they would call upon him.
Well, listen, I think there's still something going on because Joe's a very popular guy, and so
there was something else. Yeah, there was something about a Christmas party there too that came up in the process of reading the new WFAN book that came out. Did you know there was a book?
Okay. Yes, I knew there was a book. I haven't read it yet. So
it's going to be juicy. By the way, Eric, you're back in Giant Sports Talk Control, as I like to call it. I'm getting worried. What's going on with the old Twitter tonight? Look at the numbers we're bringing in on Twitter, Eric.
I have no idea, man. What'd
that
you do?
Wild?
Tom, you run that Twitter. I have no idea. What'd you do?
I don't know, man. Tom must have sent out the link to all his relatives over there in upstate New York because we got a record number of people in the Giant Sports Talk Live Twitter tonight, Tom. It's all because of you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. And the guys in the chat, especially. Thank you.
Yeah. It's wild, Eric. The numbers we were, Jesus. Hey, we're not knocking it. Come on in, join the party. Come on in, Eric. Anything else you want to cover with Tommy there?
So I'm trying to think. I think we pretty much covered it all as far as Juan Soto, New York, where he may or may not go. I think we covered all bases, as they say.
Yeah, and Tommy thinks it's going to be a matter of weeks.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and shout out to Daniel Shabazz. Thank you. God bless you too. So everybody in chat. Yeah, I think this gets done over the next few weeks. Yeah. Possibly before Thanksgiving. We got just under.
You think really? You think you don't think you'll make the decision during the winter meetings?
Listen, I think it could get done before Thanksgiving, but it probably doesn't get done because he'll want to sit down with his family during Thanksgiving weekend, and then it'll probably get done. So,
you said as late as Christmas, right? Christmas,
latest is Christmas. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does he? You normally, the big guy has to go first before everyone else signs. You see that in this case as well, or do you think other deals get done before Soto's done?
Here's the thing: the tipping point is going to be, I would say, around right after the winter meetings, because some deals will get done there. Like your second and third pitchers, stuff like that.
I think it was December 11th or something like that, Senior, somewhere around there.
That sounds about right.
I think he signed like right at the end of the winter meetings.
Yeah. So it'll be that tipping point, like right after the winter meetings and just before Christmas. And every day that goes by, then I think teams are going to be like, you know what?
We got to make some moves. Yeah.
We want to be set by Christmas. We don't want this to drag, because if it's not done by Christmas, then it won't be done until after New Year's, So, and you just want to get everything done.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. You're going to know who's out of the Judge sweepstakes if you start seeing Alonso or Adames or Snell or any of those guys. Once you start seeing those go, those teams are probably out on the Soto sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Another name I threw out earlier to you, we were talking about if they were to lose Soto, I mentioned some of the guys who you'd get to see more. This Jason Dominguez, man, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, but there is a lot of talk about him.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
we were waiting for something big.
That was Tom in the media.
I thought he was being dramatic.
That's the throwing it to you, Tom.
no, sorry, I was just grabbing a sip, So,
Tom, can you hear us now?
Dramatic.
So what do you think of Dominguez?
That was great. I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, this is gonna be something good. What's going on? He's grabbing something.
He's pondering it.
I thought he was breaking some breaking news, man. I thought he's just ripping something off the printer. Hey, wait.
I thought he was going for his notes until he starts uncapping the juice.
That was great. Oh man.
So is he a freak? Is he a natural born hitter?
That's how good. Glenn.
Coming up on our next show, we'll review that with Tommy D, I guess.
Let's dig on that in a future show. Let's do that. But
I don't know. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Tom. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I should have taken my cue at the twist top. That was all of the night. See, this always goes off the rails at about the hour and a half mark. You never know what you're going to get on Giant Sports Talk Live.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Oh, well, you guys kill me some nights. Anyway, unless he's going to sign off soon. Tom, I just want to thank you again. Hell of a job. You were on 103.5 Capital FM, the radio show that Eric and I host on Saturday mornings. You filled in for Eric. You were bringing some heat today, my friend.
Nice.
We played some Poison,
Rick
Springfield. We had some good music going. And we talked about a number of topics. Remembrance Day.
Yes.
Big day in Canada. And, of course, the radio station broadcasts throughout Canada. So we had to talk about that. We talked about Don Cherry. And he says, wear your poppy. Yeah. There's a whole scandal with that a few years ago.
You want to hear something funny, Glenn? When I was stationed in Germany, it was a NATO air base. And the only English speaking radio station we could pick up was
103.5 Capital FM.
It was Canadian radio, but it wasn't 103. Don Cherry was always on it. It was crazy. It was a Canadian station.
It must have been the CBC.
Yeah, I think it was CBC.
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Yeah, they're federally funded. I'm not a big fan, but it's okay. But I did tell Tom on the radio today, Tom, didn't I share the fact I was very upset with they fired Don for his comments about wearing a poppy. And what did I tell you I did?
You canceled your Rogers contract.
Yeah, I had a Rogers cellular contract. Rogers fired Don Cherry, so I went in that week and I said, I'm going to cancel my service. They're like, sir, what can we do to make this better? I said, hire back Don Cherry.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that, Eric.
Wow, that's crazy.
A lot of people. Well, I just said, I'll go to the competition.
Well, here's the thing: we're citizens and we're consumers. That's how you flex your muscle. You flex it at the ballot box, and then you flex it online or in person.
The cash register.
Your money. The cash.
I like to flex out behind the woodshed. Eric knows that you got a problem. I'll just see you out back. Right, Tom? Right, Eric?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. Now, the next thing and next point of business, next show, we got to talk Eric. We got 51 or 50, about 50 weeks left, Tom. We got to talk Eric into joining us at the Sands.
Love to have you there, brother.
Hey, I'm sure it's
a great
fun.
Time, Eric.
It's not my cup of coffee.
You've never been there. How do you know you've never been there?
I just don't do those resort stuff. That's not me, man. That's not me. When I go somewhere, I like to go see something historical or something. I'm not a resort guy, not a cruise ship guy.
Much to do. Oh, some of the stuff they had on when we first wanted to do our show with Eric, didn't we? We were going to set up next to that. They had the car from Fast and Furious there.
Yes, and that's what we wanted to do about. But the music was too loud, and we would have got pulled. So,
Yeah. Then we decide we'll go instead. Tommy and I spent an hour in front of the heat lamps.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was wondering, man. I saw those lights behind you all. I was like, man, you all are freaking.
And guys, I'm a relatively thin guy. Tommy's a little hefty there, and Tommy was just, you were dying. I said, Tommy's losing 15 pounds. Holy cow. Did you even notice that? Did that appear? Like, could you tell how much they were radiating heat in an already 98-degree temperature?
Yeah, I could tell, man. You could see. I was like, they're in the bad.
It was dripping. I held the microphone. It was dripping. It was dripping off my nose. That was what time, Tom? That was midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, that was midnight.
And Tommy's going on and on about military.
I'll check my phone.
Poor Bernice. I felt bad for Bernice, but once I get on the roll, so I think she
Bernice was there, but she was our audience of one. Then we had a cat come into the studio.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome.
I was like, guys, did you hear? I don't know what scared it. And then I was afraid, okay, if the cat was scared through there, what's coming next? It's like,
what's coming?
A snake is like right in. Tommy and I had a lot of fun. We didn't end up in jail or anything like that, but we kept it within limits. We had a lot of fun. The only problem with me, guys, is I like to take in the fun. I chatted with you guys on the show with Tom. Then it's time for bed. Tommy likes to head to the Tom Tom Club. Not necessarily named after our own Tommy D, but Tommy's a Tom Tom Club guy, and they don't close till what, 4 in the morning, Tom?
No, about 2 in the morning. Actually, I only did it on the final night. Night.
Okay. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Senior. Dominguez for Webb, Duvall, Luciano.
I would.
Wow. That'd be big.
Oh, I would. Oh, my God. Dominguez. Oh. Tom, from what I've seen, man, power hitter. Yeah. Tom doesn't know, so we'll save it for next show. Either that or you got something against him. We're not getting much out of you. Ever hear the term in media, Eric, tight-lipped?
Yeah, tight-lipped. He's like, he doesn't want to give it away.
Adi's got this comment saying, he was saying Dominguez is juiced. Punish the Yankees organization by sending both Dominguez and Soto to the Giants so we can discipline him. So, wow.
There we go. Adi, thinking outside the box, man. Love it.
Hey, Tom. Hey, I got a question for Tom before he departs tonight. Tom, I noticed that Timmy Hill was pitching in the World Series and throughout the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Got a good look at him there. He's pitching a lot in the postseason, wasn't he? And got a big mustache. Got that big porn mustache going. I thought the New York did they throw? What happened to the no facial hair?
You can't have a beard. I think you can have a or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know.
It has to be trimmed. So when Johnny Damon came, he had to shave all the way. So I've seen mustaches, but they have to be really well kept.
Must be a different world in Major League Baseball, isn't it, guys? Because if I hired Eric, and he was my new afternoon drive guy, say, Eric, here's the microphone, do a great show. And then I told him he had to shave. I'd be before the labor code the next day. They'd be like calling me in, like, can't tell him. If Eric wants to have if Eric wanted to put his nose ring back in and do the show, I can't stop him.
Mm.
But apparently the Yankees, they have it's how far does that go back? 60s, 70s?
That might go back to Catfish Hunter had some facial hair. So I think sometimes 70s, 80s,
Was that a George decision?
That was Mr. Steinbrenner's decision, yes.
It was all about you're here to be a professional?
Yeah. So
I like it,
he was good, because he went to, as a kid, he went to a military academy. He's very strict, so yeah.
All right. What do you think? We're going to take a poll. Should Eric shave?
Remember, I'm waiting to see where Soto does.
He's not going to shave until we sign Soto. So he could look like
way too freaking long,
like Tom Hanks after 5 years on that island in the movie where he's going to have hair, dreadlocks, big beard.
Honestly, I don't know how long I could go, man. This shit is.
If he starts calling me Wilson, I'm out of here. That's all. Thanks for coming on tonight, Tommy.
Thanks, Tommy.
Guys, thanks for having me. Thanks, Eric.
You're
Thanks,
always-
Glenn. Thanks everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate it.
You're always welcome,
You betcha.
buddy.
Guys.
You're
Right
part
on,
of the
man.
you're part of the team here now, man.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right, take it easy, Tommy.
All right. See you guys soon.
You bet.
All right, there's Tom D in New York City. Always some fun with him. We got some serious matters out of the way, talking about the Soto. He's got some thoughts. He thinks that deal will be done, Eric, in 3 to 4 weeks. What do you think? Now it's time to review Tommy. Hey, now we get to grade him. We get a report card for Tommy. First of all, I wasn't sure what happened on that whole, pop open a new Blueberry Hill drink there for a minute. That beats the text from Bernice, that one. I was like, what's he doing? I'm looking at you in the camera, Eric. I'm like, what's he doing?
I'm sitting there watching, and he was reaching over. I was like, he's grabbing some kind of information.
That's what I thought. He went to a printer or something.
Yeah, he's getting us something good, man. And all of a sudden, I see a drink
popping a lid off. And then I thought he popped an earphone or something. And he's like, oh yeah, so. Tom, we love you, brother. Tom's in the green room. I go, can't say anything bad about Tom yet. He's in the green room.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Dad. Dominguez, he sure is a power hitter.
Oh, talk about that next show. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, Tom. Jesus.
Oh, that was great.
Guys, hope you enjoyed Tommy's visits as much as we like having them.
I didn't ever said I'll never shave. Once Soto signs, then I'll shave.
Oh, it doesn't matter where he signs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where he signs. I wanted him, but I don't want to jinx it, right? Because if I shave it, then he might go somewhere else. But if he goes somewhere else anyways, then it wasn't because of the beard. It had nothing to do with the money.
But it could be your fault. But it could be your fault.
Look, it can't have nothing to do with the money. Can't have nothing to do with the team he wants to play for. It's all about the beard.
Fear the beard, baby.
Samuel St. Jean, what's up? Haven't seen you in the chat before. Welcome to the fraternity that we call Giant Sports Talk Live.
You almost forgot the name of the show.
I know. Sign Shane Bieber and sign Alonzo. All right, that's a little bit different.
Shane Bieber.
I don't know about the Bieber.
Blame it on the Bieber.
I know he's got some good numbers, but lately, what have you done for me lately? He's a Boris agent.
Hey, maybe I like this. Maybe
my bad.
The clean shaven is the Soda good luck charm.
Maybe it could be. Hey, it could work either way.
Man, when you pop in here before the show and I set my sights on that clean shaven Eric, I go, man, you look 12 years younger.
I'm a totally different person.
And then you got the haircut the other day, were shaved right down. You had a little it looked like you had an English muffin on your head. Like dude,
what the fuck are you talking about?
You got a high shave going.
An English muffin? Does that look like a freaking English muffin there?
Well, it did 2 weeks ago. You ever seen what my English muffins look like in the toaster for 12 minutes? I'm supposed to pop them out after like 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah.
Off the rails.
Oh well, we're having fun tonight. Another open night. If you guys want to come on the show, let us know.
Oh yeah, you want to throw out the link?
We got a few minutes left. I'll do another. I'm doing another 50. I've told Eric today we'll go 2 hours.
Yeah, let's do that. There we go.
Eric keeps us on 3 hours some nights here, and I'm like, okay, now I got to go do my real work. And my wife is saying, "Don't forget what's paying the bills." I'm like, "Yes, dear."
Exactly.
So,
God, that was
what's on your menu after the show? You were telling me you got some new movies you're gonna watch. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm starting to watch that damn The Comeback. I'm starting to watch that.
Yeah.
I ain't going to no tour. Not today. Not today.
Not warming up the coffee.
Nope, not warming up the
coffee.
coffee.
Any ideas?
I took care of it with the Blue Machine.
Yeah, because we did go an hour early tonight. We've already been on almost 2 hours. But
exactly.
Look, Eric, I was getting surprised during the show. Look at that. Right now, is this an anomaly? We have more people watching on X than we do on our YouTube page. And our YouTube page usually like morphs the Twitter. So what I think is Tommy D sent a post to every family member because
All
they're
right.
all in on the X.
Well, come on over to YouTube.
I don't get it.
It's
Big
all good.
announcement coming up on the show tomorrow night, boys and girls. Tomorrow night, Eric and I have a huge announcement to make. It'll warm the cockles of your heart. We are going to, Eric and I are getting into that festive spirit.
Festive, even. Yeah.
You like
How
that?
about that? It's festive.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about. Well, I'm not. Got to be tight-lipped. We got a big announcement coming up tomorrow. Ho ho ho! Can't wait. Show me the dough. All righty. Oh, and a show tonight. Holy crap! Is brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Eric, without them, man, it would be tough for us to pay all the bills over here. BetterCreditCards.com, our proud sponsor, and for the best credit card available online, visit them. They've got multiples to choose from. Which credit card suits you? Find out today. Where, Eric?
BetterCreditCards.com.
And a shout out to GenesisGoldIRA.com, our latest sponsor. They are joined by Duxwell Printing, Lefties in Burlingame, and Signatures for Soldiers. BetterCreditCards.com is our, what we'll call our signature sponsor, but we value them all just the same.
All right. Soto got the Better Credit Card sponsorship. All right, to recap, it sounds like things are moving over there on the Juan Soto front. You got reported by John Heyman. Mets had their meeting today. Sounds like it was a productive meeting, as they say. Hey, what is up, Jay? It's both of our shows, man. Both of our shows. It's all good, Jay.
What, this show?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
it's a partnership.
We partnered. It's our show.
Yeah, it's our show.
I haven't fired you yet, Eric. So
no, not yet. But yeah, supposedly they had a big production. Imagine that, Glenn.
It's everything you preached. Everything in that article when you were reading it. Everything. It just oozed of Eric Romo. It's everything you preached to us for the last month.
Whatever. I mean, are the Giants going to do it? We
Big
don't.
Poppy was there.
Don't know.
Big Poppy. Oh, they were calling Tommy Big Poppy.
Oh, you know that
in Mexico. That's his nickname down there. Big Poppy.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's Big Poppy. And Addie just said, did you see the post from Addie? Addie says, you bringing in Santa Claus? I didn't want to say it on the show, guys. Tommy D. Can you tell, Eric? He's a hefty boy. He's a hefty boy, and he's in that chair. If I was running a department store, he'd be my Santa.
He'd be your Santa, huh?
Oh, he's a jolly guy.
He's jolly.
And you throw a beard on that guy, he's your Santa all day long. So Santa arrived today. However, we got a big announcement with Christmas just around the corner. It's coming up in the show tomorrow night. Can't wait.
Yep. But yeah, let's see what happens. New York Yankees supposedly are going to have their meeting on Monday. What does that mean? We don't know. Giants supposedly don't have meeting,
No, it's getting to the point, Eric, where you're getting concerned. There are no meetings planned. There's no concern.
I don't want to hear that there's a meeting, to be honest with you. Just do it. Just get it done. I don't need to hear about it. Just get it done. And if it's
well, we don't have Santa Claus on board today, but we have one of his jolly little elves coming on.
Hey, what is up, Adi? How's it going, man?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
Good. How's things in San Diego State?
Starting to get a little bit chilly here. Finals are coming around the corner. Starting to get.
I was just going to say, did you have midterms yet?
Yeah, I had 3 last week.
How'd you do?
I did well. Yeah, I was actually really nervous because they were all within 24 hours of one another.
Ooh.
Yeah. Good. Oh, it's instant.
Yeah, Carter
just joining us. Wow.
Carter was talking about him having a midterm. Said he got an 81. I was like, Carter.
Instant. You missed out.
You better, Carter.
On for 2 hours.
Yeah, he was. I think Audie was in from the beginning, man.
No, Instant just popped in.
Instant. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep.
He says, "Good evening, gentlemen." I said, "You missed a lot if you're just joining us tonight." So, thoughts, Audie? Tommy D had some great takes. He left us dangling on the whole Dominguez thing. I'm a little worried there for a minute. Didn't know if he was having. You know what? Guys have a stroke or a heart attack. They gotta
stroking out.
He just.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Eric in my monitor, and I'm like,
I'm just watching him. I'm like, what's he grabbing?
Like Eric.
All of a sudden, I see a drink come out. I'm like, no, it's not what I thought.
So, what do you think, Boston thing? First of all, what do you think about that, Audie?
The whole Red Sox and Soto thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like every report that would come out would be the whole Soto's impressed, but he's a lefty. They have that big green monster in left field. He's got to think about his numbers.
Yeah.
Trying to hit it over
if he
the
wants to
left
be an
field wall.
opposite field guy, unless he just wants to be a straight pool guy, makes sense.
So that's kind of what I first thought of, and then second off, I was trying to think about the players the Red Sox have. Duran, he's pretty good in center field, but other than that, I haven't really heard about the Red Sox.
Cassis, their first baseman.
Yeah, they got him, but they also announced today, or from what I've read on a number of sources, Audie, is they're preaching to him. All right, you come to us, you have our word. We're going out. We'll do everything we can to get. We're going to get Vladdy. Who else was that? Oh, Crochet. They have a list.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely that.
You sign with us, we'll build you a super team.
Right, that would be encouraging to hear, but that goes back to the point of who's going to sign first. Would it be Soto or the other free agents? And if they do end up signing Soto, and the other teams in that exact moment go out, sign like the Adames, trade for Vladdy, so and so.
Right,
you can't really promise.
It's really bold of the Red Sox to try to use that as a negotiation play.
But you know what? You can't make promises that you're going to make a trade when it takes two to tango.
Exactly.
So that's he and I would think Juan Soto and Scott Boras are talking, saying, yeah, they could promise whatever they want. Doesn't mean it's going to come through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. And then for the Giants, I would say bring in San Francisco's mayor. Just give him the key, show him the keys to the city. Be like, look, you come here. This NorCal is all yours.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, other teams can promise Soto that, hey, we'll bring in this player, we'll bring in this player. You can show Soto that you can have this entire city.
Right. And again, what it does is it speaks to something other than just baseball that he may be interested in, right? Mm-hmm. Look, we could sit there and say, hey, we could put a team together here in, so many years. And again, even if you put a team together, it doesn't always mean you're going to go to the World Series every year either, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing that will always be there is the money and the ability to make more money. So maybe
don't forget, guys, if he goes to Boston, you talk about trying to pull the ball, and you showed it. It was excellent in your graphic, Eric. He likes to go opposite field with those home runs. The proper porch there, he'll be successful. But if he starts pulling the ball, man, Boston, man, he'll be driving the ball out of that. That's a short porch out there.
But I don't think he's not really a pool here. He goes to all fields, right? That's kind of what he does. I mean, granted, he does have if you look at the spray chart, he does have a bit of a pool tendency.
I'll be quite content. I don't know about you two. I'll be just quite content if he goes to New York, Yankees, Boston, Toronto. I'm quite content to see him play in the American League, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And then the whole Toronto thing, I feel like aside from Vladdy and Bo, wouldn't Toronto be the American League version of the Giants? Because we talked about how it
seems that way, doesn't it?
Right. They've also kind of gone gone for stars in the last few years, and they haven't
missed out.
Any of them. Yeah.
Well, time will tell. People are talking about that for the Giants. I'm telling you, and it's not.
But the difference is, at least they got some players. I mean, at least they drafted and developed Vlad and Bichette. They signed Springer.
They got good young
signed
pitchers.
Gosman. Who am I missing? Oh, they signed Donaldson. Remember, he was their third baseman for the longest time.
They've got Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement, my sleeper.
They had Bautista. They had. I mean, there's a whole. The Padres have had some talent, right? Granted, they weren't able to put it together, but even I'd say the Blue Jays right now are to a certain extent better than the Giants. I mean, man,
I would say they definitely are on paper, but they haven't really achieved anything either. It's kind of been the same thing as the Giants. You have the players on your team, you're just unable to get it done.
Yep. Audie, the other night on the show, did you catch when Eric started to name off the teams that we were, we gotta catch this team and this? I said, Eric, you should just say who's behind us. Who do you think? Who do you think? I say the Colorados of the world, Miami, maybe. We're getting down to the shallow waters, man.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, Miami also traded with the Orioles, so now they have some upcoming.
Yes.
Players.
Speaking of which, Glenn, when we went to the game, we saw one of those guys. Remember when Stowers crushed one into the back of the
bullpen. And it left a dent in there. Boy, that was a rocket shot, wasn't it?
He crushed it, dude.
Yeah. It didn't dangle off and hit the wall. It hit that over the dugout and was pop.
Yeah, he nailed it. And again, that
was a shot.
Crying over spilled milk, right? But that's why the Giants should have traded Snell to the damn Orioles, man.
I think it was Cody that brought it up on his show, but he was talking about how the Marlins traded the worst of the Rogers brothers, and they got pretty much a haul back for him. So imagine how much more Snell could have got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about Blake Snell. You could have gotten Kobe Mayo and probably somebody else. You probably.
I hate talking about Farhan, but man, did he ever?
His fingerprints. Yeah. Well, we can't even say fingerprints.
Are going to be on this for a while.
You have to do something to have fingerprints. He didn't do nothing at the trade deadline. There is no fingerprints of Farhan when it comes to trade deadline. It just sucks.
Eric and I were so excited after launching this show on a Monday night, trade deadline next day. We did you know what, Eric? It's funny. We did like 3 or 4 hours that day, and I thought, oh my God, that's a long show. Now that's just your average night of Giant Sports Talk Live, isn't it? But
yeah, it is.
We did a lengthy show talking about the trades, and we were so geared up because the anticipation was there for those moves. Move the Deadwood, move guys like Snell.
Yep.
And as usual, a complete and utter letdown.
And the thing is, one thing I like about the trade deadline, there's an actual deadline where you got to get stuff done. This off-season stuff, it just meanders.
Yeah.
And meanders. And you're just like, man, just get something done. We'll see. At least things are starting to go in motion as far as Juan Soto is concerned. And
Dave Patrician up in Winnipeg brought a good point, though. Do you remember he was on the show on trade deadline day? And he says, I don't want to raid on your parade or anything. You got the little deadline show. He goes, but if you operate properly during the free agency, you can dismiss it all. You can dismiss, if you make the right moves in the off season, you can forget all about your trade deadline.
Yes.
Trade deadline is only for teams
who are in the hunt. That's what it's about. It's the teams that are in the hunt.
Right. And those teams in the hunt, for whatever reason, didn't deal with us, Eric. Is that Farhan?
It's probably Farhan.
Definitely.
Marquetna. Eric leads the league in hours streamed. Marquetna.
We were looking at that today, Eric. Eric and I were looking at the stats for the show. We've logged a lot of air miles, haven't we?
Yeah, just a bit. And only like what is this now?
4 months.
The 4th month? Goodness gracious, man.
We went on in July, so all you have to do is look up the trade deadline. I thought it
was August. Oh, it's trade
deadline.
Went
on in July, one day prior to the trade deadline.
So we'll say August 1st.
Yeah, it was right around there because I was in Cleveland till the 30th, and we launched right after it on Monday. Right. So August, September, October, we're into 3.5 months, Eric. I feel like I've worked with Eric for like 2 years now already. More gray hair than when I started. Jesus, gotta wear a hat.
I want to bring up Marquetna's chat about Farhan lives in my head rent free. It's more than just that. I mean, he's kind of going to be lingering around with the Giants for the next couple of years, just because he screwed us over with the tax last year, so we lose picks this year trying to sign free agents.
And that's the thing. If you traded those pieces, you would have been underneath the CBT.
Exactly. Yes. Another thing. We can't, we have.
Talk about a screw job, man.
Yeah.
You talk about a screw job.
We know what Farhan didn't do. Do you think in this day where, you play the game with computers off the field, do you think another team is going to elevate him to the same type of position?
No.
You think somebody is that's not stupid, but you think they'd learn their lesson by looking at our blueprint?
I'll tell you what. I can answer that after this all season.
Yeah.
I can answer that at us for the simple reason. Was it all? Now, don't get me wrong. Farhan has made some horrible mistakes, but was this an ownership thing? We don't know.
You believe if we don't do a whole lot during this, you think it's ownership?
Maybe. Look, it depends because you got to remember where the Giants are financially as far as the CBT. If they're very serious about trying to stay, quote unquote, under the CBT again, I don't know. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
Audie, are you scared at all, Audie? Does it concern you the fact that the Giants now over the last 5 or 6 years haven't really done a lot. I mean, we signed Chapman and Snell. Don't get me wrong. We made a few moves.
Yeah.
But as far as making this team better for the long haul, it hasn't happened. Are you scared at all that this offseason we do nothing and you just go, what the hell? What's going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like I kind of have the right to be scared too, just because, yes, Farhan is finally gone, but as owner, or as Eric said, it could most definitely be an ownership problem. And we have what, 33 owners or whatnot? It's not that we can just get rid of one or two people and all of a sudden it'll fix itself. Like, it's 33 different people. If every single one of them are playing into a part, it'll be a long time before we can kind of get this franchise back on track.
And we got a little bit of answer to that. It sounds like it's Greg Johnson. He's the one that can, for the most part, trump everybody. Because he is quote unquote the man, the chairman, if you will. Granted, there's still a board, but I think I don't know, I can't remember. Can the board override Johnson, or I think it's just Johnson? I think it might just be Johnson. I don't know offhand, but it's going to be we'll see, man.
Too, though, guys.
We'll see.
That's bizarre too, Audie. When we harp on it, Eric and I on other nights, especially me. When I talk about trying to get things done over in that office and trying to figure out how do you operate a team with that many owners?
I know. It's
kind of defies logic, doesn't it?
And then I feel like, if anything, this year should be the year we have an exception just because of the free agent class.
Well, and here's the thing, too. The free agent class, really, let's talk position players. Is it really all that good?
I don't think it's great. Eric, you brought it up on the show, the list right on our channel here.
Yep.
I don't think it's great. They're saying next year will be better, but I don't want to wait until next year.
I think next year's worse.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure next year's worse, not better.
Next year's worse than this year.
One of the other channels said it's going to be a better year next year. So
yeah, but in relation to the shortstop position, I mean, you could go get a Kim, or it looks like we're gonna get a Kim, but
yeah,
you could.
What do you think about that, though? What do you think about that?
We'll find out. Whatever.
A fan of Kim. I mean, it's kind of like the Giants. It's such a Giants thing to do. Someone without a bat that plays good defense.
I said to Eric, I said it's a lateral move. It maybe doesn't make us a worse team, but it sure don't make us a better team.
No, absolutely not. We're exactly
kind of reeks of the Nick Ahmed, but it would whatever.
But also, if Toronto is serious about wanting to sign Soto and whatnot, they have Bichette and Vlad coming up as free agents.
I know.
And so, if we were to stay under the tax this season, not sign a shortstop that is going to get paid a lot of money, it's not like Bichette's going to be available next offseason just because they are going to pay him if they are serious about using their money.
And here's
opportunities only roll around so often, and they don't seem to. What is it about this?
Hold on 1 second. Let me do
what
this.
What is it about this team?
No, hold on. I don't think it's the team. It's a philosophy. George talks about it right here, and I'll get into it, and then I'm gonna get into my point here. They're investors talking about the
ownership.
Exactly. They're not real owners. I mean, they're owners, but they're not. Let's say they're not real fans. Maybe just clowns. Ooh, look at that! Wow. But here, let's talk about this. You make a great point, Audie, because I was talking about it too. Talking about Bichette and Vlad. If they don't sign them, are they going to – if they know they're not going to sign them, would it behoove them to trade them? Because then you could get something in return? Or or do you think they wait to the trade deadline and then wait for that value to go up? Or they do it here in the offseason. If they know, again, it's if you know you're not going to sign them, you want to get something in return. You don't want, again, where the Giants screwed up with Snell. You knew he was going to walk. You knew he was going to opt out, and you got nothing for him. Yep. I don't know if the Blue Jays would want to do that. Either they're going to extend him, or they're going to be traded at some point, right? Whether it's the offseason or the trade deadline.
I think it's kind of like the situation we have going on with Doval. Obviously, it's less of a payment thing and more of a, are we going to try and see if his value goes back up before we trade him? Or we're just going to part ways with him this offseason? That's kind of what they have going on with Bichette.
Fair enough. That may be their course of action. Because if they know, hey, yeah, we're gonna hold on to him, bump up his value, because they really don't have to bump up Vlad's value. Bichette a little bit, because I mean, even though he's a career 290 hitter, he had a bad year last year. They might want to see him do something. He's coming off an injury.
Sorry.
I think there's a lot of reward on the Bo Bichette for the risk. When you see guys in the chat saying Kim's a needle mover, I just
It's not. It says it's not.
Oh, it's not. Oh, see,
not.
It's the red glass. I got the wrong glasses on tonight. Eric knew I couldn't find my glasses before the show.
But talking about Bichette, I watched a video on why he wasn't like the career 290 hitter he is this season.
Well, he was hurt.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
Most of it came after the injury. And I also feel like Toronto might have rushed him back just a little bit because it wasn't just an injury, comes back, plays the rest of the season. It's downhill. He came back from injury, played bad, got injured again, came back, still played bad. So
he got injured at Oracle at a game I was there. And then they brought in, that's why I know the name.
Ernie Clement.
They brought in Ernie Clement to play for him, and Ernie hit 2 home runs.
So, what was his injury? What did he get? What hurt?
I'm sure it was a lower body injury. I want to say it's a lower body injury.
So his legs. Got it.
Yes.
Maybe a hamstring or something.
I think it was
his hamstring, but
hamstring, man. I tell you,
lower body is lower body. Who knows?
And again, that's the same thing.
Term.
Same thing happened with Wade and Conforto. That's why when they came back, they weren't all that great either because
Tom, he is Tom.
I just checked. It was his right knee.
Ooh, his knee even.
Yes.
Ooh.
And the name of it is patellar tendonitis. And I kind of went through that a little bit with basketball and whatnot, but it's an injury where you feel fine one day and the next day it feels like your foot's about, or your leg is about to fall off.
Audie, what are your sources? George is coming in.
Oh,
George
I searched
half injury, so.
Yeah, it was just his lower leg from the knee and below, because it was a couple different injuries.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Drink more water. You'll be okay.
He's going to want 10 years at 290 or 310.
Ooh, I don't think he's worth that. No. Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette ain't getting $310 million. I'll tell you that.
No, definitely.
Or we're in a desperate situation in the world of baseball, man.
That seems a bit.
If you're talking Juan Soto's going to get 600 and Bichette's getting half of that, no way.
It's definitely. I feel like his market is definitely going to be maybe not similar, but a little bit lower than what Adames gets.
Okay, so around 200.
I think if you're
200.
If you're going to have to pay him $290, Eric, I say the hell with it and play Fitzgerald at short.
And that's a good point. That's the reason why. It's because of his age.
Definitely. It'll be more.
He falls into that same category with Soto and Vlad. Granted, he doesn't have the same skills as Vladdy and Soto. But yes, it's that youth. So, hey, maybe he does. Again, it's more about the years, which, and again, accumulates that big contract at the end.
Now, the gamer says, I pray the Giants don't make any desperate moves to sign someone to a big contract. However, that having been said, guys, I think the Giants have really put themselves in this position with under Farhan, of course, ownership. They have really put themselves in a position where they have to do something. And whether it's drastic, but they cannot go with the status quo where this is going to be bad for a long term.
Right.
Well, but I feel like that's kind of what they're going to have to do if they do end up signing someone like an Adames.
And hey, who knows? Again, I said it. I keep saying it. Maybe there's a trade. Who is going to be involved in a trade? I don't know. I mean, we have a long discussion on that. Senior softball games. He wants to trade Webb. I want to trade some of the youth to get MLB talent. Hey, whatever it takes to make the team better, man. And again, depending on who you could get back, will be dependent on how well the team can turn it around. Can they turn it around in 3 years? Can they turn it around in 5 years? Who knows, man? I know people want it to be quicker, of course, because everyone wants to win now. But man,
there's something bubbling under, though. Something in the undercurrent, too, guys, that we don't talk about much. And it seems to have fallen by the wayside. Is when they signed Chapman a little over a month and a half ago, all that chatter that he's talking to people. He's bringing people in, boys. Maybe that's why we signed him at 6 years, right? Well, I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing about who's coming in. We're not talking to people. We're not negotiating.
No. You don't do that because the Giants have been burned. You can't do that. You cannot go out and say the Giants are talking to so-and-so. You can't because the Giants have been burned so many times.
I wouldn't say they're burned. They just set expectations. I'd like to have somewhat of an expectation, Eric. Even if they misfire, I mean, to have us sitting here doing a little show called Giant Sports Talk Live. Well, we don't have anything to talk about tonight because they're keeping everything tight-lipped. Come on.
Hey,
give me some hope with Christmas around the corner, Eric. But I'm going to have to spend some money and buy my season tickets. Am I going to be saving my money next year, putting it all into the WNBA?
You might be.
Hey, well, I'm going to anyway. I already bought my tickets. But
we're gonna find that out here shortly. Here within the next
I have nothing to buy season tickets, guys. Season tickets.
There's a lot of teams.
Why wouldn't I just say Eric's coming to town? We'll go catch a game. Why do I have to go and watch that product over 80 times a year, Eric? I don't.
Season tickets. When are they released? When do you buy them?
Oh, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
The season tickets, I could have put they want a down payment for the following year, but they've already reached out once or twice, but I'm like, eh.
Christopher Laura says, Adamas is greater than Bichette. I don't know about that, Christopher. I don't know about that. Here.
Adamas's numbers don't look as good.
Hold on. Before we get out of here.
I smell what you're cooking. Eric's going to the old computer.
Yeah,
He's firing up his Tandy. Here we go.
Exactly.
Glenn, to your point about wanting hope, though, that's kind of what we've seen under the Farhan era, though. It was kind of talk every single offseason with nothing done.
Money will be no issue. We're gonna go out. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but what happens? What happens now? We're heading into spring training next year, guys. I go, Giants didn't spend any money. Aren't you going to be a little ticked off and go, what the fuck? Oops. What the hell are they doing? What the good thing Tom's not. Tom hates when I curse.
I mean,
are you going to say, why didn't we spend any money? Where's all this money going? Are they just paying? Maybe they're putting their money into long-term savings. They're going to just use the interest to buy players, Eric. Maybe they don't like to spend money. It's going to go that direction because they're not spending the money. And they can talk about last year spending record money on this player. I don't care. They haven't built this team. They haven't built it the right way. You built it with Snell, and don't tell me signing guys to 3-year deals with a 1-year out is banking on a player. That's ridiculous.
Glenn, but the difference is if we were going into spring training this season and we didn't sign anyone, it's not like they didn't tell us that it's not like they told us all offseason long, hey, we're going to spend all this money. It's kind of been, guys, we are going to be trying our best to stay under the tax. So,
Adi, you're right. They did come out. I said this to Eric when I was down in Mexico. I said, I didn't know till I came back, but I said to Eric, I go, listen, what enthusiasm should we have when they've already come out and said we're restructuring our payroll?
Exactly. So it's like pretty much any big move they make.
They didn't say that.
The
Giants did not say that.
Okay. Set me straight, Eric. Mm-hmm. Myself and a number of people in the chat, we always seem to get misguided on this. What did they say?
Said nothing. Giants have said nothing about reducing payroll. Zero. It's Andrew Baggerly who said he has a source.
Yeah. Andrew Baggerly has reported. For now, listen, this is what happens. When the Giants don't report anything, you got to start taking it off.
I know, but you got to be careful. That's why you got to. So
the Giants should set us straight, Eric. All right, let's get to the stats.
They can't. You know why they can't? They're not going to talk. Look, no team is going to come out and say we're going to reduce. Well, actually, some do, but they're not going to come out and say they're going to reduce payroll if they are in the hunt in trying to get somebody. If they miss out, then maybe they go a different way.
Adi, how many games a year do you go
to? None. Yeah, not for this team.
If you live down the street from me. If you live down the street and I met you at the ballpark, and you go, I live over on Berry Street next to you. I go, how many games do you go to? What would a reasonable number? Would you say I go to 6, 12, or would you be an adamant follower of the team? Would you be buying tickets every day, a season ticket? What would you do? What do you think you would do?
For this team, I would probably go maybe during the holidays.
Like a July 4th game?
Exactly.
Yeah. Opening day?
Mm-hmm. but
Right.
I wouldn't be a regular there because I'd just be wasting my money to watch this team go 80 and 84.
So I don't know. I don't remember if Adi joined us from one of the other channels where I would partake with Eric in Giants Talk. But do you remember, Eric, last year, one of the other channels? I would come on every night and say, why should I buy a season ticket when I can walk over and buy a ticket for $5 and a penny?
That will change if the Giants start winning again and they got a team that those $5 tickets are going to go by the wayside. They had to do that to bring people into the stands.
Right. Well, what I'm saying to you guys right now and everybody in the chat is, if you're trying to entice me, my phone rings today and they're like, are you renewing your season ticket? I'm like, give me something to renew for.
Yeah.
Or why would I renew and pay? Do you know if you buy a season ticket, it works? You ain't getting it for $5, Eric.
Right.
So why don't I just buy the $5 ticket at the window or the day before or a week before? Bernice and I buy them by groups of, we'll pick 10 games, $50. I go to, can you imagine, Adi, a Major League City? I can go to 10 games for $50.10.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of tells you more about the team than.
We're talking Oakland, right?
Here we go. Guys, got a new guy in here. Forget about it. Junk removal. Hey, welcome to the fraternity. What's up, man? What do you guys think of the Giants' new GM? Hey, we love him, man. It's Buster Posey, World Series champion, soon to be a Hall of Famer. Again, we don't know what to expect yet. But
when he says GM, is he talking about Menizian?
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Well, time is the proof will be in the pudding.
Don't know about the GM. I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't tell you. Will it make a big change? It might be. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. Again, let's see how this offseason transpires, and then we can answer that. Do you miss
Eric,
Brian?
There's a lot of guys.
Yes,
there's a lot of guys who come into our chat, including, Addie's been here a long time. Like BC just chimes in. He goes, "Wait, a $5 ticket? Yes, in the Bay Area. I'm only a couple of blocks away from the stadium. I go over. It's $5 to go to any game." Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. 60% of the games, $5. So why would I spend money on a season ticket when I can go, geez, I'll go to pick these 20 games and go for $100. $100 gets you 20 games, Eric.
Yep.
And they haven't given me any reason to go out and secure it. You know what season tickets are designed to do? Season tickets are designed for teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees. When you go, Jesus, I got to secure a ticket. So I know when I want to go on July 1st, I got one. There's no reason to buy season tickets to a team that underperforms.
Right.
On and off the field.
You don't want the team selling you tickets under false hopes. Like, hey, we might sign Soto. Like, there have been reports from the front office that we are trying to get Soto. Like, isn't that every front office really?
I've grown tired of that. Now, mind you, Eric will be seeing me run back to the studio, go, okay, are we on? Oh yeah, we're already on. And I'll be at the games. But when I can go for $5,
that's true. I'm not saying that Bags isn't Bags is not a Heyman, but it wasn't a team source. It was a league source. So take that for what it's worth, Joshua. Just saying.
And BC,
let's see what happens in the offseason. That's all we have to wait. We don't know.
BC, you know why it's never that cheap at Chavez Ravine? It's because you aren't paying to see a team that is known as the San Francisco Giants.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
People around the league don't believe you can get a ticket for $5.
Here we go. Let's do this comparison. Willie Adames, Bo Bichette. Willie Adames he's got more games played, so his WAR is going to be a little bit higher, but they're somewhat equal. Plate appearances, there's 1,000 plate appearance difference. But look at that. Even with that, look how they're very close in hits.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like to see a player. You know what? I tell you what, there's a novel thing here in baseball. Someone who hits the ball and gets on base. It's an absolute phenomenon within baseball, guys. And it doesn't require the ball having to go over the fence. It's just, hey, you found some grass and you're sitting on a base somewhere in the diamond. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Home run.
290 hitter. 290 hitter can get on with a walk as well.
So 150 home runs to 93. Okay. Willie Adames got a little bit more. He's got more power. Okay. That's fine. RBIs. Okay. He's got more RBIs again, a little bit because of He's got more games played, more plate appearances. Stolen bases, about the same. Right? Close. Batting average. I'll take Bichette. On base. Bichette's better. Slugging means what? What does that mean? That means even though Willie Adames has more home runs, what does Bichette probably do? Probably hits a lot of doubles.
Doubles. Perfect
Triples.
ballpark.
Okay.
Right.
OPS 798 to 766. OPS plus, taking in consideration the ballpark. I'll take Bichette every day of the week.
And if you're worried about lower leg injuries and lower body injuries, it's going to be a world of difference playing on because they play up on the artificial turf.
They play on the artificial turf. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
The point I would make as devil's advocate would be Willie Adames has kind of been pretty consistent his entire career. With Bichette, you've seen a drop off. Like you've seen a bad year.
Just right 1 year, but again, you got 3 injuries. Like that.
Yeah, but it is
gotcha.
like the knee and a calf are definitely important parts of your body. Like this isn't just his wrist or like a forearm injury. Like this is something serious. I mean, if the Giants sign Carlos Correa,
I don't call it going cheap.
No.
I think the risk reward is beautiful in this situation. You're going to get a guy down year who's proven the track record is there, Eric. Yeah. He's still young. And have you ever heard interviews, the prime one, when I was a kid watching Andre Dawson? Dawson still claims today, he says, I could play another 10 years if I hadn't played at Olympic Stadium in Montreal on that basically asphalt turf. Mm-hmm. He says, if I had played for the Cubs I would have played 10 more years in Chicago. They say that if you play on real grass, it's good for the lower body.
Forget about it. Junk removal comes in again, says, thanks for reading my comment. You bet, man. What is the key for the Giants to lock in a superstar? Pay them my money.
I read that a few minutes ago off here, and I was thinking, what's the appeal? The appeal is the money. Right. That's what it is.
Of course. I mean, look.
That kind of is really the only thing we have going for us.
Is that right? Exactly. Now, unfortunately, are the Giants in winning ways, so to speak, compared to some other clubs? No, they're not. But they have some youth that are showing some. You got Elliot Ramos, who, given his chance, has become an all-star. You got Fitzgerald, who may or may not be something. Bryce Eldridge, again. All the talk is he's going to be something big. Again, we're going to have to see what happens. Who else we got out there? Jung-Hoo Lee should have a good year. Should have a good year. He's going to be decent. Patrick Bailey won a Gold Glove, so that's showing something. You still got Matt Chapman at third base, who's going to lock down that hot corner for, well, let's say he's probably for maybe 4 of those 6 years. He should be good, right? 4 of the 6 years. Granted, barring injury. So, I mean, we got some pieces. It's just the Giants need to solidify that middle of that lineup, man. They need to. But
we're close. We need that middle of the line. You know who we need, Eric. You know who we need.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. All right, hey man, let's get going, man. We're going a little bit longer. Let's get the hell out of here.
You want to get out of here with these record numbers? I still cannot.
Hey,
are you guys fooling me? Look, Eric, I don't know if you can click it on your screen. Look at the number on the X tonight.
Yeah, I see that. Yep, I see it. I don't know what that's all about, man.
We got more. I don't know what's
weird. I don't get
it. It's an anomaly of sorts because we're bringing it on the Twitter tonight like crazy.
It's all good, man.
Audie, hope school's going well, buddy.
Thank you, and it is.
All right, Audie, man. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, of course.
We'll see you.
Love to be on here.
Awesome, dude. We appreciate you. Have a good rest of your night, man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, there was the great Audie. The guy's awesome, man.
I like
again.
Audie.
He was one of our guys who were here from the very beginning. Love it.
Day one showed up going, what's this channel? And he hasn't been able to get rid of us since, huh?
Thanks. Forget about it. Awesome. Forget about it. Junk removal. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you guys have been great tonight. Record number of views in the X's I keep mentioning because it's just blowing my mind. Great number online. Look at overall. Eric, we got a great bunch in. They love when Tommy D comes in. Appreciate Tom. If you're out there still watching our show in New York, thanks for coming on tonight. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Tomorrow, Eric and I have a huge, gigantic, monstrous, festive announcement. So be tuned in for tomorrow night's show. Big announcement on the way. I don't think we have any guests lined up for tomorrow's show as of yet.
No.
Want to thank earlier. Do you remember the name? We had somebody come in with a little contribution to the show, sent us the super chat. We appreciated that.
Darren. Appreciate it, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it. Helps out with the chat, pays the bills. It's the chat. Best chat in the world of sports talk, Eric. Best chat anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just that we're not pandering, guys. There's no pandering here. It's the truth. That's how we feel. So couldn't do the show without you guys, man.
I told Eric we had our chat off air. We spent about an hour talking about our, the big announcement for tomorrow, among other things, earlier this afternoon. I said, Eric, you know what? This chat is like you're just getting together with, your friends, your buddies. You're like a fraternity. It's like all your buddies are gathering, and we're just shooting the breeze, right?
That's why I call it the Fraternity of Giant Sports Talk Live. That's what it is. It's a fraternal order, as they would say. Tomorrow, we'll get back to some more Giant-specific stuff, even though we got a little bit into it today. But we're going to have a Giant-specific topic tomorrow. So be watching out for that upcoming show tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, we got a little off topic tonight with we're talking Yankees and Soto.
Well, we had a special guest. We got a guy from New York.
Right? But I hope you guys appreciate when we get Tommy on. Tommy's a good. I like Tommy's a good guest.
Yeah, he is.
Except I still got to figure out what that.
I figured it out. Just don't ask him any questions about Dominguez, and you're good to go.
Well, yeah, I took that by the second. So tell us about Dominguez. He leaves me hanging. At least Eric and I were on the same. I swear to God, Eric, I was waiting for him to pull like a sheet of paper.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Like,
I was waiting for something.
He printed something on the printer. He just go, and then
exactly.
But he's ignoring me. He's just like, oh, okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I was like, more catnap. Thank you, sir, for throwing that out there as a reminder. Hit that like. Make sure you leave a comment when the stream ends, guys. We try to answer the comments.
Thanks, Alfonso.
As much as we can.
And don't forget, you can also check out our website, giantsportstalklive.com. And don't forget, when you're there, make sure you fill out the little application on there to win great prizes, including the $500 gift card from Fanatics. Coming up on the show tomorrow night, we've got another big announcement to tickle your fancy with the holidays just around the corner. And it's going to warm the cockles of Eric's heart. I can't wait.
Yeah, it should be good. Alfonso, thank you, sir. Yep.
All right, Eric. See you tomorrow, buddy.
You betcha, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back. Not at 7 o'clock. We will be back at 8 o'clock. Yep, and we'll talk about some more San Francisco Giants offseason talk, guys. That's what we do here, man. Look, we may repeat, but that's fine because it's just about having that conversation with you.
You know why we do it, Eric? Because that's what they want.
That's what they want, man. Hey, you guys come in, bring it, man. We love to hear what you guys have to say. That's what it's about. All right, guys.
He says, I think he's in. Guys, you can continue to talk in the chat for a few minutes after we sign out every night. Don't forget about that if you guys want to, you wrap it up your own conversation. But Eric and I are just boogieing on out of here. I'm going to head over. I'm going to listen to some more of the Saturday night dance party on our website, giantsportstalklive.com, for the best in retro dance music. Eric's going to catch a movie, and we'll be back tomorrow night. See you then, Eric.
All right. See you, Glenn. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.